Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back to another weekend live edition of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller. Let's turn that gain down. Welcome back to another weekend live edition of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Welcome back, family. Welcome back. All right, so I'm going to switch it up tonight, y'all. I'm going to put on a little something that is a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use a fancy word, but let me use a word like appropriate. We're going to use a word like appropriate for tonight. We are sitting here at Friday night, April the 11th, 2025, and this is the eve of Passover. So Passover kicks in officially tomorrow, April the 12th, along with a new moon. Full moon, correction, full moon in Libra, free, freedom, Passover. A lot of themes in here, family. A lot of themes in here. So I'm going to be putting on a little bit of music. Now, I got to tell you, if you're here live, you're going to hear it. If you're watching this video on demand, you're going to see me cut to the next segment of this video without the song. Why is that? It is because this is probably going to get me a copyright caution because this is not my music. But I'm going to play it anyway, because it is a song that is appropriate for Passover. And y'all, listen, I got to tell y'all this before I get started. I have never, ever in my life recognized Passover. Never. I mean, every other pagan holiday I've celebrated in, and now I don't celebrate any of them. But for some reason this year, Passover is hitting different. And because I know that Passover is the story of my ancestors. Yeah, I said that. Don't get triggered, people. 1948 state people. Don't get triggered. Y'all know that ain't y'all story. You can't go along and dig up in some caves and find some old manuals and say, hey, this looks like what we want to claim and write yourself into a covenant. It don't work that way. You can't write yourself into a covenant that's already been sealed, all right? Don't get offended. Everything is about to be revealed. We're at the end of the movie. Everything's about to get revealed, okay? No offenses. Hopefully none are taken, all right? But what's up? Oh, we got Shalom Capri 10. We got the Capri 10 in the house. We got Bernadette in the house. We got Anya's Intuitive in the house. All right, y'all. So let me put on this music because I want to play again a little bit of this song. Aretha Franklin, Mary, Don't You Weep. It is very appropriate for Passover, family. So let's get this started. Let's get this party started. Y'all can see I'm all smiles here. It's Friday. I have not seen y'all in about a week and a half. And y'all know when I don't see y'all in like a week and a half, for some reason, it feels like it's been like a month. I don't know why that is, but let's get it going here. Why am I in all caps here? Mary, don't you weep. We're going to start this off with a little bit of music while we wait for a few more people to jump in. Slow down, Matthew. Slow down, Matt. Slow down. It's okay. All right. So I'm going to play this song. And again, if you are watching this video on demand, you're not going to hear the song. But what I will do is I will put a link to the song in the description box. And then after the song is done playing, we're going to get started with tonight's topic, okay? Full moon in Libra. What is being revealed in your life? What is being brought back into balance for you? Right after this Aretha Franklin piece right here, okay? This is from way back in the day. Let me switch the mic up so y'all can get the vibes, and let's get it going, family. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Hopefully y'all can hear that. Let me turn the gain up a little bit. Sip some water. A little warm in here tonight, but I don't think I need a towel, so I'll go old school and wipe my face on my shirt if I have to, all right? You are watching Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. Thank you for finding the thumbnail interesting enough to click on. And if you're a returning subscriber family, welcome back. Well, come on in the house, y'all. Come on in the house. Come on in, family. Aretha, the greatest to ever do it. Here we go. Again, if you're watching this video on demand, you're not hearing the song, but you're probably also not hearing me say this part because I'm talking over it and I'm going to cut it out, all right? Let me get that towel, family. This is a little warm in here for some reason, so I'm going to get that towel. I'm going to turn the air on. Y'all know what it is. Be right back. Y'all enjoy this Aretha Franklin, Mary, Don't You Weep. I'll be right back, family. Don't weep, all right? Listen, man.
Tell your sister, don't moan. You know. Pharaoh's army. All of your men got drowned in the sea one day. Yes, they did. Man, Mary, don't weep. Tell Martha not to mourn. Don't mourn, don't mourn. If I could, I surely would. I'd stand right up on the rock. Yes, I would. I'd stand right where Moses stood. Yes, I would. Pharaoh's army. I know you know that story of how they got drowned in the sea one day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jesus said, "Man."
What's up, Michelle? What's up, fam? What's up? Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Come on in, family. I'm gonna let the rest of this song play out, then we're gonna get started. Y'all come on in, family. Come on in. Now, Aretha about to lay into this one, y'all. Put a thumbs up in the chat if y'all are aware of this song. If y'all have heard this song before, this is old school. This might be a little bit too old for some of y'all, you know. This song might be older than some of y'all, all right? Throw a thumbs up in the chat if you've heard this song before. Throw a thumbs up in the chat if you know who Aretha Franklin is, all right? See who I'm dealing with in this chat tonight. Some of y'all so new school, y'all don't even know who the classics are. Oh, she about to get crunk, y'all. She about to get crunk. What's up, Justin? Okay, all right. Y'all know what it is. By the way, tap that like button for me on your way in, family. It's gonna alert more people, let them know we live here tonight. We're gonna have some fun, as we always do, family. As we always do. Let me turn my ringer off, y'all, because I'm bound to get somebody to call me here in just a minute. If I don't. Can Anita holler, y'all? Can she holler? Aretha, I said Anita. I'm thinking about Anita Baker listening to Aretha Franklin. Too many uhs. Y'all know how we get named, y'all. Majority of the sisters I know got a last name that ends in the sound Oh man, we having fun tonight, family. We having fun. All right, y'all. That's enough. But this is the best part of the song, though, because she about to start hollering, y'all. That's right. I am, Bernadette. I am. I get hyped when I come in here with y'all in her prime. That's right, just because. That's right. Y'all come on in, tap that like button for me. Tap that like button. We about to get started. I'm playing this one in honor of Passover. All right? Playing this one in honor of Passover. Lazarus. Sing, Aretha. Here we go. You gotta walk like a natural man, y'all. Yes, he did. Jesus said. All right, y'all. We're gonna take it on down. Now. Take it on down, y'all. Taking it on down. She said, going home. Going home and don't you and your sister moan. I love that song, y'all. Classic. Classic. I used to play that one all the time back in the day. Y'all know how I was back in the day before CDs. Mom talking about, don't y'all scratch my record. You better not scratch your mom or your dad's record back in the day. Especially when you ain't have no job to pay for, right? All right, y'all. Let me switch the vibes up here. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank y'all for being here. We're about 10 minutes in. That's a good time to get started. What did Bernadette say? Even in her old age, she still could. She still could. She still could. Yo, I heard her sing, I believe it was Ave Maria. I didn't know she could hit that operatic sound like that. Blew me away. I was like, Aretha had the full arsenal. She had the full arsenal. She probably was the baddest since Mahalia. Probably was the baddest since Mahalia Jackson. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, let's get started tonight, family. Thank y'all for being here. Looks like we got 12 people in the chat. That's enough for me. All right. So shout out to everybody here who is here tonight. If you have not done so already, please tap that like button for me. And again, if you are watching this video on demand, I'm at the 11-minute mark in the video, but I guarantee you it won't be 11-minute mark when you're watching this because I will have cut that piece of it out. I'm not even gonna wait for you to, as soon as this video is over and uploaded and we're done with this live, I'm just gonna go in there and cut it because I already know they're gonna say, hey, copyright warning. That is a piece of copyrighted material, but the owner of the material allows it to be used on this platform or whatever. And y'all know what happens, y'all. Sometimes they play with the views if you got a piece of copyrighted material or whatever on there. I don't know, but we'll deal with that. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Anyway, we're going to start the party like we always do, family. What is up, everybody? What is up? Yo, listen, y'all check in, family. Check in. I am in high spirits tonight because it has been about a week and a half since I saw y'all last, talked to y'all last on this platform. I usually try to do like an on-demand video or something. I'll pop out in nature and do a shorter video on demand or something like that, or even go live in nature. I've done that before and try to give y'all something in the meantime, in between time, but it just wasn't going to happen this week. But I'm here. And I'm here because we have a full moon in the sign of Libra hitting. The full moon cycle starts tomorrow, which oddly enough, y'all, we got some incredible, some unbelievable cosmic transits happening, y'all, this year in 2025. Not like I've ever seen. We listen, we kicked off the year with a we came out of December and into January with a Mars retrograde in the sign of Cancer. Brutal universal tower moment. And for those of y'all that know what I mean when I say tower moment, y'all know what I mean. I'm not going to explain it tonight, okay? It was tower units or tower moments are the universe forcing you to change. And that's what all retrogrades are. All retrogrades and all eclipses are the universe forcing you to do the work that you perhaps did not want to do before. This is why we have retrogrades. This is why we have retrogrades, y'all. Retrogrades are course corrections. They are course corrections in the cosmos, but we know as above, so below, right? And for those of y'all that think that's new age, go talk to the Messiah and ask him why he told his disciples when they pray to say, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. He just said as above, so below in the reverse fashion. Same principle, all right? But we beyond that on this channel because most of y'all over here are mature. Y'all already know what the vibes are, and y'all are upgrading your lives. Y'all are upgrading your lives on a weekly, if not daily basis. And I am so proud of each and every one of you that log onto this channel and do that inner work. Because when you do the inner work, it uplifts the entire planet. It uplifts the frequency of the planet that we live on. It uplifts the frequency. It raises the frequency of Mama Earth, Mama Gaia, if you will. Some of y'all go with Mama Gaia. And for those of y'all that think that's new age or some whatever, just break that down Hebraically, okay? Take the Hebrew characters and see what that means if you use ancient pictographic Hebrew. Then you'll know that Gaia ain't nothing. Anyway, I ain't got time for y'all tonight. I ain't got time. By the way, y'all do know that I do read scripture on this channel, but I'm not Christian. I'm not religious. I'm not Judeo-Christian. I'm not Muslim. Listen, don't label me any of the 3 Abrahamic religions or any of the Eastern religions. Do not label me. I don't wear a label. I am simply a spiritual being here having a human experience and trying the best I can to walk in my own divine purpose. And believe it or not, each of you has your own individual divine purpose. You want to know what it is? Look at your North Node in your natal chart. And that's one of several purposes that you came to this earth to knock out, all right? But we're not going to get too deep into that tonight because we're talking about what we do every month. Full moon. Full moons are about gratitude. New moons are about manifestations, planting the seed, what I like to call impregnating the universe. Full moons are about welcoming the baby into the world, expressing gratitude, looking at what sign the moon is in, and seeing how it affects you in your chart. It's going to affect everybody differently, okay? Now, eclipses affect everybody kind of differently and kind of the same depending on what it is. And I got off track, y'all. We came out of that retrograde, that Mars retrograde and the sign of Cancer. That was tough. The universe forcing you to look at your relationship with your family at home and with your emotions, okay? Forcing you to change, to take action in those areas, okay? And then right after that, we hit what? We went right into a Venus retrograde, okay? Went into a Venus retrograde. We're going to be talking about that tonight too. I got some bonus material. Y'all know I like to come in here with 1 or 2 undercards, like boxing, like a boxing show, a boxing event. We look at 1 or 2 undercards, and then we hit the main event, okay? I got a riddle on here, y'all. I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight because I don't know if I want to risk the whole video. Y'all know what happened to me last year. For those of y'all that are regulars, y'all know what happened last year. YouTube didn't like something I said and gave your boy a strike. I was like, really? A community guideline strike for telling the truth? Anyway, so I don't know if I want to risk it. I might do it in a short. A short is less risky because this is going to be some great content tonight, and I don't want to risk it for a joke. So maybe I'll save the joke for a short, okay? Maybe we'll do that. I do have it in my notes, but maybe I'll save it for the short. Anyway, we left there, y'all. We went into we had a Venus retrograde. Venus is all about partnerships. It is all about things that we value, okay? Things of that nature. But Venus is about partnerships and about things that we value, things that we hold near and dear. We're going to be talking about some of that tonight. We had a full blood moon lunar eclipse in the sign of, what was that, Virgo? So we did some releasing stuff with that. Blood moons are about releases. Normally full moons are about welcoming in energy, but when it's a full moon eclipse, it's about letting out with the old and in with the new. So we talked about that. I got a whole video on that. 2 weeks later, we had that partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, all while being in a Venus retrograde and then a Mercury retrograde, y'all. And now we're coming out of the Venus retrograde. It is ending. And we got, look, Neptune moved into the sign of Aries. Neptune, the planet of dreams, visions, hopes, okay, aspirations, and as well as spirituality, entering at 0 degrees, which is the God degree, the ether degree, the only degree that belongs to the element of ether. All of the other 29 degrees belong to one of the 4 elements, earth, wind, or earth, air, fire, and water. 0 degrees, the only one that belongs to the element of ether, the 5th element, the element they didn't teach us about in school, but it's very real, okay? All right, the thing that is everywhere. It's the God element. Ether is inside of everything and outside of everything. It's everywhere, okay? We had Neptune moving into 0 degrees of Aries, and now we are knocking a full moon tomorrow night in the sign of Libra during Passover. Y'all, if you listen, it's some major stuff happening. It's some stuff of biblical epic proportion happening right now. By the way, did I tell you I'm not religious? So because I know scripture, y'all already know what the vibes are over here, okay? The Bible and the ancient text from which it was derived are not religious. They were never intended to be religious. They were spiritual in nature, and they were hijacked by the religious establishment and refashioned into the doctrine of control. So if you enjoy being controlled, do your thing. But you're not gonna get any of that control doctrine over here. I'm spitting straight spirituality. I'm knocking the layers off. I'm knocking the outer shell off and getting to the meat. Just like you do when you cracking a walnut or a pecan or whatever. You got to get that hard shell off to get to the sweet meat. All right, and that's what we're doing over here. We get into the spiritual. That's all I do. I break down the spiritual nature of the scripture. If you want the religious doctrine, you can find a church on any corner on a Sunday. And that's part of my joke, man. I'm tempted to do it, y'all. I'm tempted to do it, but I'm not going to do it. So let me start by reading this opening copy, y'all. I'm going to say some what's ups to new people as they're coming in, and we're going to get this show going, all right? Thank y'all for being here. I know y'all could be anywhere on a Friday night, but you're here hanging out with Matt D. Talford, and I do not take that lightly, family. I appreciate each and every one of you. So now, let's read the opening copy from the description box, because not everybody reads the description box. Y'all see the announcement. It's like, oh, Matt's going to be live tonight. And I take my time writing that copy, y'all. So I'm going to read it, okay? For those of you that have read it, it's going to be a redundant, okay? But here we go. The full moon is the phase where the moon is fully illuminated, which is a time for both spiritual revelations as well as expressing gratitude for the receiving of new emotional energy. And remember, the moon is the energetic ordinance that governs our emotions. In tonight's live stream, we will go through each of the zodiac houses and discuss what is being revealed and what is being brought into balance based on the house that Libra occupies in your natal chart. All right. And the flow tonight, y'all, pardon me. Y'all already know what it is when you're sitting down. Some of your favorite YouTubers, I don't know if it's burping and talking and drinking fluid, whatever. You're pushing your stomach up maybe when you're sitting. I don't know. Anyway, it happens. All right, undercard number 1. We're going to talk about how did this Venus retrograde affect your finances, your values, and your partnerships. I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to go into story time briefly and update some of you guys, because some of you guys heard me talk maybe 2 or 3 lives ago about a situation I had within my tennis community with and one or more individuals, let me say it like that, with one or more individuals that I've known for over a decade that I've considered friends. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all an update on what happened with that, because Venus, let me tell you something. When you got a planetary retrograde, depending on what that planet governs over, you're going to have a little bit of upheaval in your life, and a lot of things are going to happen out of the unexpected. That's what Tower Moments are all about. It's about the universe forcing you, the Most High forcing you, the universal I am presence, the divine, whichever title fits you best, forcing you into the energy of change for your good. Tower Moments typically don't feel good when they're happening, but the aftermath is typically a newer and better version of you. All right. So I'm going to share a little bit of that story tonight. And then in the second undercard, we're going to talk about the significance of a Libra full moon coming in at the end of a Venus retrograde. That's very significant. It is very significant. And maybe as an add-on with that, I'll talk about perhaps the significance of this Libra full moon happening on Passover this year, y'all. That's like not coincidental, and it can't be looked over. Okay, so maybe I'll add that on with this undercard number 2. And I'm so tempted to give y'all this riddle. I think it might be safe, y'all. I think it might be safe. Maybe I'll go with it. Maybe I think it'll be safe, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I want to put it as a short. Y'all put in the chat if y'all think I should roll the dice and do this in this, add this riddle that could be risky in this video, or if I should do it separately as a short. Y'all want to hear it bad enough, maybe I'll roll the dice. But y'all put it in the chat. Let me know how y'all want it, because I'll do it either way. I don't care. That's how I'm built. All right. I'm not reckless. I'm very calculating, but sometimes a risk. What good is life if you can't occasionally take a risk, right? So that's undercard. That was undercard number 2. I had undercard 3 as the riddle. I may not do it. I don't know. But then we're going to get into the main event, and that is talking about this Libra moon. We're going to talk about what is being revealed regarding our finances, our values, our personal possessions, and our partnerships. And just as a note, remember, your personal partnerships are not possessions, all right? Venus rules over the second house of possessions, and it also rules over the seventh house of partnerships. They're not one and the same, okay? They're not. Secondly, we're going to talk about what is being brought into balance in our lives. And then, of course, we're going to express gratitude for the things that are being brought into balance, all right? And that's pretty much going to be it. So let me check the comments really quick before we get started, family. And I don't really have any scripture notes tonight, so maybe I won't be reading any scripture tonight. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, we got a lot of comments there, all right? All right, let's see what we got here. We have Workout Junkie. What's up, Workout Junkie? Thank you for joining tonight. We got Tora Girl in the house. What's up, TG? Thank you for joining. Karen in the house. What's up, Karen? All right. Let's see who else we got. Okay. Beauty of Core Physics. Thank you for joining tonight. Thank you for joining. All right. Tora Girl said, do it separate. Just because said no strikes needed at this time. Short. Okay, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm gonna follow that sound advice. So I will follow it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. All right. Let me go back up to the top here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. She said, you're in very high spirits tonight. Yes, I am. All right. Spirit gets to moving. Even in her old age, she could hit the high notes. Yes, she could. Yes, she could. All right. We got some just because. Okay. Hey, okay. Gotcha there. Understood. Okay. Let's see. Tora Girl. Hey, just because. Happy Shabbat. Shalom. All right. Yeah, we got that. We just getting started. Truth, spirituality rules everything. You have a lot of fire in your Capricorn self. I do. Beauty of Core Physics. I do. That's that That is that Sagittarius Mercury. That's that Mercury in Sagittarius. So I got fire there. I got fire in my Venus. Fire and desire, baby. Love them and leave them. Nah, y'all, I'm just in a giddy mood tonight. But yeah, so I got a little fire in my chart there. And then my Vedic sun sign is Sagittarius too. So the spiritual nature of Matthew is that of a Sagittarius. The physical / practical nature of Matthew is that of a Capricorn. That's kind of how that works. So some people have their sun signs. A lot of their placements are similar in their Vedic chart, and then other people, you got a different Vedic sign than you have tropical. I typically deal with the tropical on this side, but when the spirit is speaking through me, that's coming through that Sagittarius. So it's got fire. It's got fire. That's just what it is. But thank you for recognizing that. Thank you for recognizing that, beautiful physics. She said, got Libra moon over here. It's lovely, but complicated. It's complicated, but it is lovely. It is lovely. It just tells me you got a heart for balance and harmony, a heart for partnerships, a heart for truth. I love all of that. Love all of that. I'm a Libra rising, so we there. Ascendant to the moon. We there. We can talk. We can jive. We there. All right. Tora Girl says, celebrate our history. It's Passover. May the next Passover find us at a great gathering and in our land. I'm with you on that. He said, we're two touch and agree. There I am in the midst of, in my name, there I am in the midst of them. I'm with you on that. I'm going to touch and agree with you on that one, Tora Girl. Boom, pound. We're going to touch and agree on that. All right. And let me see. I got a few more comments there. Aretha, woman of soul. Her spirit lives on at every note. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Y'all know energy doesn't die. It's only transformed. It never dies. The energy never dies. All right. So let's go ahead and get this party started, family. 4 planets in Libra, including the sun. So, oh yeah, you're a Libra stellium. Okay. All right. So you about that. You really about that balance. You're really about that Ma'at energy. I'm going to talk about that. You know what, y'all? I'm so tempted to go in on Passover a little bit tonight, but I really want to keep this about the astrology tonight. I want to keep it about the transit, the full moon, and the outgoing Venus retrograde. So I think what I will do is I will come back on Sunday night and do maybe a little bit more of my thoughts on Passover. But again, I will say this. This is the first time in my life that I'm actually recognizing Passover as far as it being what it has been for our ancestors, a way of life. It wasn't about religion, y'all. The religious establishment just misconstrued everything. They took a way of life and turned it into religion and enforced it. Put people over people to enforce and all of this stuff. These things were ways of life. Okay. I'm preparing a Passover meal. I'm not going to get all into detail with that, but it is not in accordance with what you're going to find in the Torah, in the Old Testament. I'm thinking of this in the same way I would Thanksgiving back in the day, 4th of July, where you cooking food, you prepping food and stuff like that to have people over. I ain't having anybody over, but I'm cooking, and just in recognition, I'm giving this the same energy that I gave to pagan holidays that meant nothing. So I'm doing it like that. And for those of y'all that want to be hardliners and say, well, it says that you have to have bitter greens and unleavened bread and y'all do y'all. But I ain't seen nobody die from messing up Passover since, okay? Understand that the Messiah came and he rewrote the book. He said, I have fulfilled the law. I'm going to move it over here now. I'm going to give y'all 2 rules. Only 2 things you need to follow. He said, later for that law. Later for it. He said, I did it. He said, you can't do it. That's why I came. You can't do it. And this ain't about religion, y'all. This is a little bit of history lesson. For those of y'all to say he never walked the earth, then y'all move on to the side. This conversation, you're not included in this conversation, okay? Because I'm not here to debate whether or not he actually lived. I actually broke that down. People talking about there's no documentation of his being there. I broke that down in a live one day. I still got it. I just changed it from public to unlisted. But if enough of y'all request it, maybe I'll change it back to public. It's still out there, it's still on my channel. But I broke down the letter of Pontius Pilate that was archived, okay? It was archived and then translated from Old Latin into English. So for those of y'all to say there was no historical documentation and people talking about the Romans kept immaculate records of people who were tried for crimes and all this stuff like that, yes, there is some out there. There is some out there. And I know some of y'all gonna say, well, it hasn't been authenticated by scholars. Neither has anything that you read. And if it's listed as having been authenticated by a scholar, then you're still taking somebody's word for it. So unless you're an eyewitness to historical events, you yourself are believing somebody else's account. So do not knock another man for his belief of an account that neither of you lived or wrote. That's my piece on that. Okay. All right. Bitter herbs is for cleansing spiritually for the new year. I got you, Capri 10. I got you. Yeah, listen, like I said, anybody do it how you do it. For me, this is new for me. I'm actually being mindful. I know that this Passover season runs from tomorrow through the following Sunday. So like 8 days or something like that, 7 to 8 days. So I'm just, the thing I'm doing new for me this year is I'm being mindful of it. I'm like, okay, I can be mindful. I can recognize and remember that the ancient ones went through this situation, and that and I can actually, similar to what Toro Girl just did, I can pray and activate a new rescue. Okay, because the truth is, and I'm getting into my Sunday discussion a little bit, but the truth is, there is the seed of Esau, and not just the seed of Esau, but Esau's conscripts, if you will, took over. They basically did and have been doing the same thing Jacob did, where Jacob tricked his daddy into thinking that he was Esau. Esau has now said, hey, you know what? That worked for him. I'm going to make it work for me. And Esau has tricked the world into believing that he is Jacob. That's all it is, y'all. That's all it is. I'm not going to do that lesson tonight. But anyway, my activation would be, hey, you know what? Esau and his conscripts, okay, they have taken the narrative of a people and made it their own, and they are too strong for the people to wrest it away. So it is time for another Exodus style snatching back of the narrative and the possessions. And y'all, it's already written what's going to happen. I told y'all, if you want a secular preview of what's going to happen, look at the movie, the Eddie Murphy movie, Trading Places, from the 1980s. Look at it. It's right there. That is. Let me stop, y'all. I'm gonna get into this on Sunday. Because man, y'all be getting me hype, and then I'll go down the side road, and next thing you know, we 2 counties over when we were supposed to be over there. All right, we just supposed to be going to the supermarket, and we 2 counties over looking for the supermarket, talking about the GPS ain't working. All right, so let me stay on the road. All right. All right. Mariah, Stella. Okay. All right. I hear you over there. I hear you. I'm not in. Listen, I don't comment on things that I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on. I don't know a lot about that Serapis story, but so I'm not gonna comment on it. John the Baptist, the old way, Christ consciousness, oneness, new way. Torgo, thank you. He said, look, I'm gonna give you 2 commandments, which I don't like commandments. I prefer instruction because that's more accurate. It is more accurate. Okay. I'll give you 2 instructions. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and do what he tells you to do. Love God with your heart, mind, soul. Love the Most High with your heart, mind, and soul. Heart, mind, body, and soul. And do what he tells you to do. Keep his instruction. It's not a commandment, because if he commanded it, you would do it. But because we're free will beings, he says, this is what I would prefer you to do. Okay? You can do it or not, but this is what I want you to do. Okay? So love God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and follow his instructions. Do what he tells you to do. And then love your neighbor like you would love yourself. He said, if you do those 2 things, you pretty much have fulfilled he said all of the law is taken care of in those things right there. The things that these thumpers and these enforcers are going around telling everybody, hey, you got to keep the law. You got to do it this way. Hey, you got to prepare it this way. like one of my favorite YouTubers said a couple years ago, he said, you ain't keeping Passover by going to Costco, getting no lamb chops, and then going to your supermarket and getting a can of Glory Greens. He said that ain't. But those of y'all trying to do it by the rules, trying to follow the law. He said you can't buy no lamb chops. He said you don't even know if those are kosher, none of that. Talking about we going to get these lamb chops and these Glory Greens. He had me cracking up when I saw that, y'all. He had me cracking up. So listen, again, before I get on, because we 33 minutes into this, y'all, and I'm just yakking. I'm going to have to put some timestamps on this, y'all. I know I'm going to have to, because I know people that want to just get right to it. So I'm going to put there will be timestamps within 12 hours of the end of this video, okay? If you're watching, there will be timestamps within 12 hours of the end of this video, or this video going, being published to ending. Now, and y'all know me, the Capricorn in me sometimes will rewatch the video at night and not go to bed till 2 a.m. watching it to find out what those time markers are. And then, matter of fact, I did bring my tablet. But I'll rewatch the whole video sometime, 2 or 3 hours. I'll watch it right after the video's over just to get those timestamps in there for y'all. So I do that sometimes. But I do it out of love, y'all. I do it out of love. So let's do this. I'm going to write timestamps on here right now just so I'll know. And we're going to get started, okay? And the first time stamp is going to be at 35 minutes is the beginning of the content. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's get into this. So, all right. Here we go. Truth, I feel you infiltrated our history. All right, I'm gonna come back to it, y'all. Here we go. So let's get started. Let me get to my notes so I can get y'all up out of here. Undercard number 1. I'm gonna ask y'all, and y'all can put it in the comments. How did this Venus retrograde affect your finances, your values, and your partnerships? Now, remember, Venus is the energy that rules over those 3 things. Finances, second house. Second house is Taurus energy. Venus rules over 2 signs, Taurus and Libra. Taurus rules over the second house of values, material possessions, money, acquisitions, that sort of thing. That's Taurian. And then the other aspect of Venus rules over the 7th house. It rules the sign of Libra, which rules the 7th house. And Libra is all about partnerships, okay? It's about partnerships. It's also about balance. It's about balance. Libra being the 7th house, you can also find those Libran principles if you look up the 7 principles of Mayat, okay? The 7 principles of Mayat. That, listen, I love having come across those. Now I got homies in that are part of the Hotep community. Y'all saw the video I did, the collab with my brother Nate. Love Nate, been knowing Nate since high school. We've been down since high school. That's my dude. And shout out to Nate. Shout out to some of my other homies who were trying to put me onto some of this stuff when I was still under the veil of Roman Catholicism, aka Christianity. And for those of y'all that don't know, Judaism actually falls under Roman Catholicism too. But when you know, you know. When you know, you know. Okay, the 3 Abrahamic religions. I ain't gonna get into that. Okay, you watch some of these people from the different faiths, the Pope and the top rabbis and top imams all wear that yarmulke. They just call it different things, right? Story for another day. But yeah. While I was still kind of under that veil, even when I was under that veil, y'all, I grew up Christian. I was in church on average about 12 hours a week until I was about 15, 16 years old. And the thing about me has always been that, and thank God, maybe I didn't know anything about astrology then, but now I know that with my natal ascendant being Libra, I've always been about balance, harmony, fairness, that sort of thing. So one aspect of me is when somebody would bring some new information to me, if I had never heard it before, I was never dismissive of it. I just kind of said, okay, I've never heard of that before. It ain't something I jive with, but then I'll put it in my back pocket. And then if I see something or hear it again, now it's worth looking at because now there's a pattern. There's something for me to look at. And that pattern matching thing is kind of Capricornian too. So that's just kind of who I am, the energy of who I am. So I never dismissed it. But shout out to my boys out there who I was kind of debating with back in the day when they would tell me that the 10 commandments are a subset of the 42 laws of Mayat. I couldn't see it then. I wasn't interested in hearing about the 42 laws of Mayat. But as I awakened spiritually and started seeing other things, it is very clear to me now that the 10 commandments is a subset of the 42 laws or 42 principles of Mayat. And believe it or not, I think that the 42 principles of Mayat, including the 10 of those that form the 10 commandments, I think the way they're presented under Mayat is a better application. I think it's a better application. Why do I think it's a better application? I think it's a better application because it deals more with internalizing those, okay? When you say thou shalt not, that's an externalization of a principle of righteousness. When you say thou shalt not kill, that's like saying, okay, you're externalizing it and telling somebody else. It's like somebody outside of you telling you what you should or should not do. The way that would be presented under the 42 laws of Mayat would be, I have not killed. Now you are internalizing it and you're taking ownership of your own actions. So believe it or not, I prefer, now that I know, now that I'm fully awakened, I prefer the application of the Mayat style because it internalizes it and it forces you, the individual, to take ownership. Instead of saying, thou shalt not steal, it is, I have not stolen. It also, not only does it internalize it and has the individual taking ownership of it, it really speaks to the multidimensionality of us as the soul and how we are, timeless beings. When you say, I have not done, you have gone into the future and assigned this principle to your future self that you have not even stepped into yet by saying, I have not done this thing. I have not stolen. I have not borne false witness against my neighbor. When you say, I have not, you are owning that. And it is forcing you to keep yourself in line. I like that way better than somebody outside of me saying, thou shalt not steal. Damn, I'm hungry and I ain't got no money. And I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm just saying it changes the perspective. When you say I have not stolen, it kind of creates a universal ripple or energetic ripple that puts that provides for you. Hey, I have not stolen. So if you would have stolen to get something to eat because you have no money, by your saying I have not stolen, it's provided for you. It's a better application, y'all, but I'm way off track. Let me get back to this Venus retrograde and how it affected. Hey, this is why we go live, right? If I wanted to just go straight by the book, this would have been an on-demand video, but it would not allow me to interact with you guys. And that's what I come on here for. I come on here for the interaction and the energetic exchange because I love y'all. I know y'all love me, and it's 360 degrees of love. So this is why we go live with these things. And it allows us to have these discussions. Anyway, now, let me get to that story. I'm going to tell you about how this Venus retrograde affected me. Venus, again, rules over partnerships, possessions, finances, that sort of thing. I can tell you that during this Venus retrograde, it did force me. We're talking about tonight what, retrogrades are about, course corrections. So with this Venus retrograde, what was the course correction? What was that reflection? Retrogrades are also about reflection. I did reflect a lot on my personal finances, how I can grow them. How have I been managing my finances? So it was a period of reflection for me. I actually saw growth. I saw growth because of that reflection. Okay. Partnerships is a big theme for me here. And here's the thing you guys got to understand about retrogrades. You may not get hit in every area of the energy or every area that planetary energy covers or governs over. You may not get hit in every single area. It's only about where you need work. Where I needed work, where I needed revelations, where I needed course correction, y'all, was in my partnerships. I had people that I considered friends for a long time, but things were revealed to me via how I knew them, which was tennis. And what I found out, I don't want to get too much into detail. It was a little bit disappointing, but y'all remember the poll I did. I said, hey, did you on my let me bring it up real quick. Let me bring it up for those of y'all that did not see it. I'm going to bring it up and share it to the screen. Stand by just one moment. Matt's D. Telford. We're going to work through this, y'all. We're going to work through it. I know I'm running a little bit behind where I want to be, but we're going to work through it. Okay. Posts. All right. Oh, it's going to force me to sign in. I don't want to sign in, so I don't need to answer that. Don't allow. Okay. All right. So let me share this to the screen, y'all. Hang on one second. Thank you guys for your patience. All right, this is the poll I put up. Retrogrades are times for reflection and course correction. This year's Venus retrograde, which began in Aries and is ending in Pisces, began with the universe forcing us to right align our relationships with ourselves and step into our personal power, Aries energy. This Venus retrograde has also forced us to balance partnerships with any souls that we may have had spiritual connections with, and that's Pisces energy, and forced to the surface any emotions that we may have repressed down into our subconscious layer. That's also Pisces energy. Why is that important? The Venus retrograde began in the sign of Aries, and it is ending. In fact, it ends tomorrow. It stations direct tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, in the sign of Pisces. Okay, so there are two primary themes that have played out during this year's Venus retrograde. Either you worked on and restructured your challenging relationships, or you let go of connections that were no longer a match for your vibrational frequency. Tell us which theme played out most for you during the Venus retrograde and cast your vote. Okay, looks like I got 11 votes there. But you either addressed and restructured your challenging partnerships, or you released yourself from partnerships that no longer work for you, or you had balance of both. You had a balance of both. You did some restructuring and some letting go. I'm here to tell you, y'all, for me, it wasn't about restructuring. It was about letting go. And that was kind of painful, but it's painful. Let me speak to those of y'all that are watching that are Cancer moons. I don't see my homegirl out here, Bella. She'll probably be watching this on demand, but Bella, shout out to you. I know you're Cancer moon too. We've talked. People that have Cancer energy, they are not, and Capricorn too, for that nature, or for that matter, they don't easily let people in. But when you're in, you got access to everything. They don't withhold any. They're like, look, you got the keys to the kingdom. If I let you in, you're not a friend, you're family. And so when you have, I don't want to, betrayal is a heavy word, but it kind of applies when, I don't even want to call it betrayal. When you have people doing like little slick stuff behind your back and then trying to smile with you or try to cover little stuff, try to cover their tracks, you like, really after everything, like after everything we've been through, this is where we are. So for me, these are two individuals that I've played tennis with. I've known on and off the tennis court for over a decade. And, I don't want to repeat the story, but in a nutshell, there was some taking advantage of my kindness. All right. I listen, I don't play any games. I know a lot of times people have mistaken the mild looks and the laid back attitude for hey man, this guy, he'll let anything go. No, I won't. I listen, I don't. That ain't me. Y'all look. Don't let the Libra rising fool you, because if the rising sign is Libra, then that means when it comes to partnership, you got to deal with the Ram. I'm an Aries 7th house. Okay, so there was this thing, man, that happened where they were like, hey, let me look. Yeah, I'm beating around the bush. Let me tell y'all what happened. So I signed up for this. Y'all know I'm a tennis player. Y'all know I'm a competition tennis player. I signed up for this league, and this league, there's, when you're playing UST adult league tennis, you can play down, but you can't play up. Here's what I mean. Like it's age division, so it's based on your skill level and then your age group. So if you want to play 40 plus and you're over 40, you can play 40 plus league, but you can also play in the 18 plus league if you're bad enough to go play with the teenagers and the young guns. Okay. If you're 18 years old, you can play 18 plus, but you can't play 40 plus unless you hit age 40 or older. So I play 40 plus, I'll play 18 plus. That's just me. I can hang with both age groups. I'm that agile, that skilled, whatever. I can hang with both age groups. No problem at all. So I'm in this 18 plus group, and I get a text message from a friend, and that friend is like, hey, would you mind, giving up your spot? I'm maxed out on the guys, and this other person on the team wants a spot for her son, and her son is not old enough to play on her 40 plus team. So it's just like, hey, she can, and then it's like, well, if you don't want to, you don't have to, but I just wanted to throw it out there. And I matched thinking, I'm like, and if you're gonna come to me with that, then you're already kind of expecting me not to. Like, and then I'm thinking 100 things. I'm like, who else? I'm looking at all of the names of the guys on the roster. I'm like, who else did you ask? Like, why am I the first person you asked, or did you just come and ask me because you knew Matt would say yes? So I'm not gonna argue with you at that point. I'm gonna say, yeah, it's cool. He can do it. It's cool. I get it. Mom wants to play with her son. It's cool. And then I start thinking, and I'm like, you know what, man? Whose idea was this? So long and short of it, the person who wanted to play with their son, they captained the other team, the 40 plus. And I was like, you know what? She asked me to play on her team, and I was like, cool, I'll play on it. But then I was like, you know what? You probably, part of me is thinking you asked if I would give up my spot, which I love the kid. Me and him are like this. I love the guy. He's a great kid. I've been knowing him since he was little. I love the family. This was all new to me. It came to me as a shock. And I was just like, why didn't you just come to me directly and just say, Matt, I would love to play with my son, and this person doesn't have any more slots for guys on their team. How would you feel about letting your spot on the team go so that I can play mixed doubles with my son? And since you're already playing my other team, I would have been like, absolutely. But instead, you go around to somebody else and get somebody else to come at it sideways. And then when I confronted that person about it, they threw the other person under the bus. And then they kind of had a little terse, little sideways response. And I'm like, really? After all of this time, we couldn't do this better than this? So, it just showed me. And then I went back and looked at another text message that I got from that person about 2 months ago, asking me to do something, and then coming back and reneging like 5 days later saying, well, you know what? I probably won't need you after all, because you probably going to be busy on this night anyway. So I'm going to get somebody else to play for you. Okay. All right. So that was strike one. When strike two came around, I was like, you know what, man? This is where I exit the building. We ain't on the same frequency. Like you either insulting my intelligence or you just taking my kindness for a weakness when you could just come direct. Like don't go sideways around me. Just come direct. I'm man enough to deal with whatever. Like, cause it ain't that important to me. Ain't nobody getting. We're paying to play. All right. Ain't nobody getting paid to do this. So those were two relationships that I decided were not fruitful for me anymore. I'm like they're no longer fruitful for me. They're like these. Nah, we're good. So I let that person know. And then here's what's the funny thing. This is why I tell y'all, man, all the time. Don't be afraid to pull the scissors out and cut the cords, because I promise you, when you let go of something heavy, God always got something better hanging, waiting on deck for you. It's like baseball. Baseball, you got one batter up at bat. There's another batter on deck waiting to get up to the plate so he can go knock one out the park. So God always got, a lot of times we don't even see what he's got waiting for us because we won't let go of something that we think we can't let go of. All right. So I'll let this go and I get on the phone and I call my homies from another city that I play in. It's quite a drive away, but I enjoy it. I like my alone time. It allows me to get in the car, just listen to my music, listen to my podcast, listen to my YouTube videos, whatever I want to do, and just kind of just chill and just enjoy the road. It's an easy drive, and they love me there. They love me. They like, so I said, hey, y'all doing a team this year? My girl says, oh, Matt, my bad. I forgot. She says, G told me to call you last week and see if you was going to play on our team because he got a spot for you. And I got so busy with work, I forgot. Matt, I'm not asking you if you want to play on our team. I'm sending you the team number. Sign up. Man, we've been listening. We want you. And I'm like, you know what? Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. So the point I'm making is this Venus retrograde forced me to see some things about people that were there that I was not aware of. That, you know, it wasn't harmful ultimately, not like in a bad way or anything like that, but it couldn't affect me harmful emotionally, because it's like you can't be, and this goes back to that Mayat thing. You can't be in a situation where there's no equal give and take. There's got to be one of the 7 principles of Mayat is reciprocity. Reciprocity is equal give and take. Do you know that's a biblical principle too? It says not to be unequally yoked. Now it throws with non-believers on the end of that. And I think that kind of lends to religiosity or religion, but that same holds true for anything. If you got a wagon that requires 2 oxen to pull it, if you got 1 ox and then you want to say, well, man, I don't want to use my other good ox to pull this load. I'm going to put this sheep herding dog and put this harness on him. Now this 1 ox is getting overworked because he's unequally yoked. And you know that sheep herding dog ain't even going to try to pull because he ain't used to pulling no load. So now you got 1 ox doing the work of 2 oxen. What's going to happen to that 1 ox? He's going to break down. He's going to break down trying to pull a load that requires a 50-50 split, an even pull. It's that way in our lives, y'all. Do not be afraid to let go of relationships or so-called partnerships that are not partnerships at all. So when I saw these things, and then I get the sob story at the back end, I get the sob. I got to hear the sob story. Man, I did that. You know what? At that time, at that point, it's like Charlie Brown to me. It's like, I ain't hearing it no more. I'm not hearing it anymore. And then thank God for having a good team around me. Because here, old Matt tried to creep back up. And say, well, you know what, man? Man, we have a long standing relationship, man. Maybe I'll reach out and offer to be a practice partner for the team, because they could use a caliber of player like me to practice with them, so that if they are good enough to advance to the state championships, then they already know what they're dealing with. Because I don't take it easy in practice. Like I ain't gonna cave your chest in with an overhead. I'm not gonna do that to my teammates, but I'm gonna bring the heat otherwise. And if you say, Matt, go full throttle, then I'm gonna crush you with the ball, and it's gonna teach you not to lay a. It's gonna teach your partner not to lay a short lob up, because I'm like, the other team ain't gonna take it easy on you. So you tell me the level to come at, and I'm gonna come at that level. But anyway, yeah. So y'all could probably see on my face that was a little bit. It was disappointing, but that retrograde forced me to reassess these individuals that had done some little stuff in the past that I kind of put away, and just the universe is going to bring it back up, y'all. When you do not do your shadow work, what is that shadow work? Dealing with that side of you that not everybody sees. That's all shadow work is. We see what's in the light. We don't always see what's in the shadows. Or others see what's in the light. They don't always see what's in the shadows, but we know what's in our shadows. The universe, during these retrogrades, shines a spotlight into our shadows and forces us to deal with them. That's all shadow work is. People hear shadow work and they think it's something dark or sorcery or something. Shadow work is just dealing with the sides of you that you don't show to everybody, or sides of you that you try to push down. You can't elevate if you don't learn to master your shadow. And that's not to say to put away your shadow. You just need to not be afraid to look in there and see what it is that you need to deal with. A lot of times we try to, we got company covering over. Hey, let's throw this in the closet. Nah, clean that up. What happens if the company goes in, or one of the kids come and open the closet? Hey, what's all that in the closet? You know what? You should have cleaned it up. That's the universe. That's that tower moment. That's that tower moment. That's what it looks like. All right. So that was my example, my story. I don't know. Some of y'all may have seen some of y'all may have had similar things where the universe forced you to reassess some of your partnerships. Venus rules over all types of partnerships. It could be marriage. It could be boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be business partnerships. It could be partnerships with regards to recreational things like I just gave you guys. It could be church/affiliation or civic group partnerships, anything. Venus retrograde is going to force you to look at or bring out of the shadows into the light the things that you need to deal with. All right. Let me look at some of these comments here before I move on to undercard number 2. Thank y'all for listening, by the way. Space Elf said the Venus retrograde reveals so much for me. It does. That's what it does. Toro Girl said, for me, it was to make decisions that was in my self-interest. Yup. That's what Aries is about. It started in Aries. It started in Aries. So when you're talking about a Venus retrograde in the sign of Aries, that's forcing you to look at how you show up in partnerships. How do I show up in partnerships? Okay. Once it graduates down to or once it moves backward into Pisces, then you're not looking at how do I show up in partnerships. It is what is being revealed, what is coming up out of the subconscious with regards to these partnerships. What is coming up out of the dark? What is coming up? Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune deals with the light and the shadow. That's why you got 2 fish in the Pisces. That's why anytime you got a zodiac sign that has a dual energy in it, you got a dichotomy in there somewhere. That's why people talk about Gemini. That's the first one with a dichotomy. I'm gonna go through them real quick. Gemini, people talk about, well, which one of them are you gonna get? You got two things there in Gemini. Okay, Gemini, you got two different energies there in that Gemini. Same thing with Cancer. Cancer is at 69. Are you getting a 6 or are you getting a 9? That's Cancer energy. That's why when people are listen, no offense to you if you're a Cancer, but y'all know Cancers can go from cool to emotional depending on how you push their buttons. That's Cancer energy. Okay. So anytime you're dealing with those dual energies, one is usually gonna be light, one's gonna be shadow. Same thing with what do we got? Libra. Same thing with Libra. Libra's about the balance. So sometimes you see 2 sides with Libra while they're calibrating. Okay. The next one would be what? Aquarius. Aquarius the same way. You got those 2 squiggly lines with Aquarius, and then you end up with Pisces. So that's kind of how that works, y'all. That's kind of how that works. Anytime you're doing with those dual energies, that's what you got to deal with. Anyway, so yeah. So when you're dealing with that Venus retrograde into the sign of Pisces, Pisces rules over the subconscious. What am I not seeing? It's going to come up during that Venus retrograde. What am I not seeing? If it's a Venus retrograde in Pisces, what am I not seeing in my partnerships? What am I not seeing in my finances? That's going to come up too. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing in my finances? And we're going to talk about that with this Libra thing too in just a minute. Okay. So thank you for sharing that, Toro Girl. She said, for me, it was to make decisions that was in my, let me put it on here. For me, it was to make decisions that was in my self-interest. I did have to do that, and it was difficult. Some family members supported while others didn't. I just continue to stand in my truth. That's it. Just because it said rough past 6 weeks. I also had to step away from a long-time friendship. See, man, people think that this astrology stuff is like, oh man, Most High said don't look at no, but you still being affected by it. Y'all are living in an old time, man. Y'all gotta come up to date. Deal with those 2 instructions the Messiah said. He said, love God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and do what he tells you to do. Y'all hear commandments where y'all reading that English translation that says, and keep his commandments. Y'all immediately take God's commandments for the laws of Moses. No, what's he telling you to do today? What's he telling you to do today? So do that one, and then the other one is treat people like you want to be treated. That's simple. So yeah, people, whether you believe in astrology or not, you are still going to be affected by these energies. Because as above, so below, as within, so without. You have each one of those planetary energies in you to some degree, in some fashion. You got them all in you. You have them all in you. You got a sun sign, you got a moon sign, you got an ascendant, you got a Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. You got all of them. You are them. They're going to be in some sign, in some degree, in some house, in some minute, based on when you were born. So I'm glad y'all are sharing these in the comments, because what it is doing, it is proving the argument I've had with some of these detractors that have come into my comments for the last 5 years, trying to tell me I'm going to hell for reading a natal chart. And I'm helping people live their best lives. And I'm going to talk about that in that short, okay? In that riddle in the short. I'm going to talk about that, okay? Let's see. Next one. Thank y'all for commenting tonight. Capri 10 said, no worries, brother. Everybody jealous of caps. It happens. It's lonely at the top of the mountain. Capri 10, we just have stuff to do. We have stuff to do, and not everybody understands it. Not everybody understands, but we come here to do what we come here to do. All right. And we don't stop. When you got a mission to do, you're like, you can come along, you can help me if you're gonna help. Well, we had a saying in the Army. It was lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. And that applies to Capricorn. Capricorn, like people say, oh, Capricorns are always trying to. Nah, listen, unlike some of the other cardinal signs like Aries or Cancers at home, a Cancer at home ain't gonna let you do nothing. They're not gonna let you do nothing. That's a cardinal sign. That's a cardinal sign. It is ruled by the moon, and it rules over the 4th house of home and family. So when it comes to family and home, a Cancer ain't gonna let you do nothing unless they're delegating to you. If they're not delegating, Cancer got it. They're gonna like, nah, I gotta move. Nope. This is the best way to do this in here. That's Cancer energy. Libra energy, they're thought leaders. A Libra they'll debate you if what they think is right. They're gonna debate you on it. Libras are thought leaders, okay? Aries are action leaders. Fire signs about actions. Aries are like, nah, this is how we gonna do it. My dad is the Aries moon. If it's something he specializes in, even sometimes when it's something I specialize in, he'll still be like, well, son, do we want to do? Dad, this is my lane right here, Dad. Then I have to test him. Do you know anything about it? Well, no, boy, I'll listen to you. But if it's in his area of specialty, I'm just gonna sit down. Because he ain't gonna he got it. Aries. That's that Aries energy. But when it comes to Capricorn, this is what people don't get about Capricorn. A Capricorn ain't got to lead. We like, listen, if you're doing a good job, I'm gonna sit back and let you do it. But if you up, I can't stand by and watch you up. I'll take control, or I'll just do it by myself. And while y'all talking about it, I'm already off. I'm not just doing this for me. All right. While y'all talking about it, I'm being about it. That's Capricorn energy. A Capricorn will allow you to lead if you're leading. But if you're not leading, they're gonna step up like, nah, you look like you don't know what you're doing, and I can't let you mess up a whole bunch of people, including myself. So if I got to be here with you and you don't know what you're doing, I'm gonna step up and take the lead. I might offer to help. If you don't accept my help, then I might just be like, nah, I can't roll with y'all, man. You messing up. The ship gonna sink with you at the helm. I'll get in this lifeboat and go sail off somewhere. I'll be somewhere. I'll find me another ship. It's Capricorn energy. All right. Anyway, let's see. Space Elf said, as a Taurus, I'm feeling that ox analogy. Can't partner with just anyone to work with our loads. Yup. I feel you, Space Elf. I do. Angie's memes. Hey, Matt, this is Maya. Hey, what's up, Maya? What's up, niece? What is up, Maya? Cancer moon. I love Maya. You already know, Maya. You already know. Another Cancer moon. Capri 10, Aquarius era is the end of church age. Mariah, I said that, Mariah. I said that in so many videos. I told people they don't want to hear it. They think I'm being devilish or something when I say religion is going away with the age of Pisces, and they don't want to hear it, but they're just going to have to watch it. You don't have to hear it. It's going to happen. So thank you for saying that. Capri 10 said, we don't hurry up and wait either. Nope. Bernadette said, a couple of us shared our testimonies earlier. You need to scroll back up to see them. I sure will. Thank you for saying that. Mariah said, horoscope is an art. Yup. What's up, Stellium? What is up? All right, let me see what Bernadette said. Let me go back up to the top. Let's see what I missed. Making sure I didn't miss it. I got visions of ideas for success and started putting them to action. For the first time in years, I didn't have to pay any income taxes. I actually got a refund. That's what changed for me during the Venus retrograde. Okay. So again, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I have not versus thou shalt not. Yup. Space Elf said the Venus retrograde shared so much. Okay, so I'm all caught up. So, hey, what's up, Jimmy? What is up, Jimmy? What's up, bro? You missed me talking about tennis. I'll have to call you. Keep you up. I have to call you and bring you up to date. All right, so now let us move over into undercard number 2. The significance of a Libra full moon coming in at the end of a Venus retrograde. All right, y'all. So I told y'all we just got done talking about what things happened during this Venus retrograde, what calibrations happened in our finances, in the way we look at things that we value, as well as looking at our partnerships. What things were recalibrated with regards to how we show up in these partnerships. That was when the retrograde began in Aries, and then into the subconscious part. And I didn't spend a lot of time talking about spiritual connections. Those of y'all that know what spiritual connections are, y'all will know I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I've got some of that stuff. I got a relationship playlist on my channel. Y'all can go through that. But it forced us to reflect. Some of us that are in spiritual connections, it forced us to reflect on those spiritual connections as well, and rebalancing those and recalibrating those as well. So those are some of the things that happened as well. I didn't spend a lot of time on that, but if those of you that are in these spiritual connections, soulmate connections, high level soulmate, high level divine counterpart, you probably saw some recalibrations in those types of partnerships once that retrograde moved out of Aries and into Pisces. Because again, Venus also rules over partnerships and all of that other good stuff. So those are part of the themes too. So some of you may have seen those themes as well. When you know, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that tonight. And I just dropped my chapstick. Okay. So now let's move on now. So the other part again, the significance of a Libra full moon coming in at the end of a Venus retrograde. The retrograde is ending the same day we're getting this Libra full moon. What does that mean, y'all? The full moon, what does it do? It does a couple things. It ushers in the fullness energy. Like, again, I say the new moons are about planting the seed, impregnating the new moons are about planting the seed or impregnating the universe. The full moon is about welcoming the baby in. So with this full moon in Libra, Libra rules over the 7th house of partnership. It rules over the 7th house of partnership. So now with us going out of this Venus retrograde, remember Venus is a planet that rules over 2 houses, the 2nd house, which is ruled by Taurus, and the 7th house, which is ruled by Libra. That was like a wider focus. It was a wider scope. It dealt with 2nd house issues and 7th house issues. Now that this Venus retrograde is ending and it is about to station direct, we're out of that reflection and recalibration energy and moving forward now. But we're now coming into a Libra full moon. So now we are hyper focused on the area of partnerships. That is the significance of this. So if you thought you were done, some of us are going to get more revelations during these next 2 days with regards to our partnerships. Because the full moon is also the revealer. How so? The full moon is the moon with full illumination. Nighttime, things hide at night. But guess what? Some things that are hidden at night are revealed by the light of the full moon. Now, I still wouldn't trust walking out and, for those of y'all that have animals, those of y'all got dogs and backyards, hopefully you go out there when your dog is going and then you shovel it and do what you got to do with it. The full moon you don't want to be walking around when you ain't shoveling because it may not be that bright. You might still need a flashlight, all right? But the full moon is the revealer of secrets as well. It does reveal secrets. So with it being in Libra, we're also going to get some revelations about partnerships. So this is a continuation of the theme of the retrograde for at least 2 more days. And a lot of times the energy of the full moon and the things that occur during that full moon, those things are felt moving on. They're felt for days after that full moon cycle when we're starting to get into that waning moon energy. So it is very important to do your gratitude rituals during the full moon. We're going to be talking about that as I go through these houses in just a moment. But I also want to spotlight the fact that when you have 2 or more things happen during a cosmic transit, those are considered portals because now things are aligning. So we have the end of a Venus retrograde. We have a full moon in the sign of Libra, which is about balance. It's about harmony. It's about truth. Okay. Just consider it is about equal give and take. It's all about those 7 principles of Ma'at. Okay. So we got that energy coming in. And on top of that, it's happening during Passover, y'all. I don't think that can be ignored. This year's Passover starts tomorrow or tomorrow is today in the capital of the Passover, which is Jerusalem. Tomorrow is today because they're 7 hours ahead of us. So it is 4:36 a.m. in Jerusalem. So they're officially in that Passover energy now. But I just think that this full moon happening during a Passover is not insignificant. So if you guys got any thoughts on that, you guys can put it in the comments. I learned from you guys. I learned so much from you guys. I learned in the same token that you guys show up here to learn from me. I show up here to learn from you guys as well. So if you guys have any thoughts or any downloads you might get on how you think that is significant, I do not think that is insignificant that we have a Libra full moon during the Passover. The full moon is about revelation. So maybe we're going to get some liberating revelations happening during this Passover, y'all. Libra in Spanish means free. Libre, Libra, liberate. Y'all see the vibrational matches there? Maybe there's some liberty taking place with this full moon. The full moon, we're welcoming in the baby. We're welcoming in abundance of some energy based on the house that you have Libra in. So to be welcoming in this harvest of Libra energy during a Passover, I think that's an act of God. I think that's divine timing of some nature. It hadn't even all occurred to me yet. I don't know. I might get a download at dark 30 this morning. I tend to get my downloads at dark 30. So my head may hit the pillow tonight, and I might get a fresh revelation that I share with you guys on Sunday. I am going to do a video on Sunday, maybe just talking about some more Passover themes that I didn't want to bleed over into this, because this is just about, the full moon being in the Libra and what's being revealed and what's being brought back into balance. So with Libra bringing things into balance, that in and of itself is probably a whole message. You have a Passover happening, and during a full moon in Libra, which is the sign of the balance scales, the scales of justice. Look at the energy that has hit me, y'all. And I'm just using myself for an example. I can't be the only one. This is the first time in my life. And keep in mind, I told y'all when I was a little boy, my grandmother used to have us recognizing the Sabbath for a very long time. She got away from it eventually as, my family got more and more into church and the Pentecostal holiness Kojic church that we went to growing up, and they got away from some older themes and became more and more Christian and started doing more Sunday stuff and Sunday worship. We started getting away from the recognition of the Sabbath. And, my grandmother, she used to do all of her cooking on Friday before sundown, get everything done. She didn't do any work on Saturday. She would not allow us to do anything. We could play, but it wasn't going to be you weren't sweeping no floor. You weren't making no mess. You weren't doing nothing that would require work on Saturday. And my grandmother was not quote unquote Jewish. She wasn't practicing any of that. That was passed down to her from her mother. Okay. These things were passed down. They were passed down. Okay. So, and my grandparents are from the South. They're from the South. I was born and raised in New York. My grandparents are from the South. My parents are from the South. They were born in the South. Okay. So, these were things that were passed down from the elders. It don't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that. They didn't join nobody's synagogue. They weren't, sitting under a rabbi and then, after 3 years doing their mikvah, whatever they call it, and saying, okay, you are now Jewish. You can do it. No, it wasn't none of that. They were I told y'all, this was a lifestyle. So when you're talking about the significance of this Libra full moon coming in at not just the end of a Venus retrograde, which is a course correction, but then a Libra full moon, which the Libra full moon is about revelations and things being brought back into balance. And me now, for the first time in my life, actually deciding to observe Passover and just be mindful. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not looking up no scripture telling me how to do that. I refuse to do any of that. I refuse to. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. I refuse to do it. Why? Because here's the reality. No, I'm not going to get into that. I'll wait till Sunday with that. But I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is just being mindful and recognizing and remembering. Wait a minute. This was the time that the elders and these stories were passed down to us from. Let me recognize this. If I could recognize the 4th of July, if I could recognize Veterans Day, if I could recognize Cinco de Mayo, if I could recognize, when we were kids, I don't do it anymore. When we were kids, what did they have us doing at school on St. Patrick's Day? Oh, you better wear something green to school or you're going to get pinched. All of these pagan holidays we could recognize. And I'm like, the ones that my ancestors as a lifestyle recognized, we don't even recognize them. But for this year, I had this urge to recognize and be mindful of Passover. All right. I got a leg of lamb brining that I'm gonna eat tomorrow. I got some homemade, homegrown collards and kale that I grew in my own garden. I ain't doing. I told you I'm not. Don't look for me. Don't grade me on none of that because I'm not about that. Don't grade me on no unleavened bread. I'm gonna eat me a slice of bread tomorrow. Put some butter on it. Leavened, full leaven. All right. I'm gonna eat me some pancakes on Sunday morning. I like pancakes on Sunday. I'm gonna eat me some pancakes, full leavening in it. All right. So don't. I ain't seen nobody die for messing up the Passover. All right. I'm not. Don't miss me with all of that. Please miss me in the comments. If you're commenting on that, on what I'm doing in my life, I'm gonna say, oh, they talking to themselves. They ain't talking to me. I already told you what it is for me. But I'm recognizing it. That's cosmic, y'all. Nobody told me to do that. Nobody told me to do it. It's just an urge that I had. So this is that Libra full moon. Things being brought back into balance. I'm gonna start waking my children up in the land of their captivities. Baruch chapter 2. Y'all go read it in the Apocrypha. They'll wake up and remember themselves in the land of their captivities. I said I wasn't going to do no scriptures tonight, y'all, but God, look, here I am. Here I am. Here I am. I got to do this. I got to do this before we move on to the houses. If you came here just for the houses part and you're still hanging out, I'm sorry. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. All right? I'm going to get to it. And there'll be timestamps again at the end of this video. All right. Or is it Baruch chapter 3? I think it's Baruch chapter 3. No, it's chapter 2. I know it is. Yes, chapter 2. Let's yeah, there we go. There we go. Chapter 2, verses 29 through 32. Let's do that real quick. Let's do that. By the way, this ain't a religious channel, y'all. I keep telling y'all that. Don't look. I'll say God bless you one minute, and the next minute you rub me the wrong way, you might catch an F-bomb. And I ain't saying that to brag. That's just what's gonna come out of me. I'm just telling you. So don't try to put me in no box because that ain't me. I'm not him. Baruch chapter 2, verse 29. Let's see. If you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. And I shall know that I am their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear. And ears to hear. Sorry, I said that backwards. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And verse 32, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Let me keep going. Verse 33, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which erred before the Most High. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I've given them. That's prophecy, y'all. That's prophecy. Maybe that's why. See, these portals, man, when you got two or more cosmic activities happening at the same time, y'all got to see that for what it is. It's a portal. It's a portal opening, an energetic portal opening, a time portal opening, a prophecy portal opening. That's what these things are. All right. Space Elf. Let's see. Let me catch up on some comments here. Beauty of course, they're trying to examine my role in heartbreaking, shocking betrayals. Like who? What the F? Yeah. It'll make you reflect on them. It'll definitely make you reflect on them. Yup. Justice and balance, no doubt. Space Elf. Oh wow, I have Libra in the 8th house. This should be interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to get to that. We're getting to that next. That's coming up next. The true Sabbath moves with the moon cycles every 7 days regeneration. Okay. Yeah, exactly. We did something really simple as a family last year. We're keeping it simple this year too. That's all. That's what it's about. Just recognizing. Just recognizing. All right. Thank y'all for adding your comments. All right. Let's go now. Let's go now into y'all. Did I share that scripture to the screen? I don't know if I did or not. I know I was reading it. I don't know if I shared it to the screen or not. Y'all give me a thumbs up if I share that, because if y'all want to see it, I'll pop it back up there really quick. I just didn't remember if I shared it or not. Y'all, when I share it, sometimes I don't go back to look. So if y'all heard me read it, but you didn't see it, I'll pop it back up there really quick. Y'all give me a thumbs up if I had it on the screen, because I don't remember. I'm moving so fast tonight. Y'all let me know. Did I put that? Did I have that Bible verse on the screen for y'all to see it? Okay, good. Thank you, Bernadette. All right, so I'm going to move on now, and now we are going to go into. So that was undercard number 2. I just wanted to talk about the significance of that Libra full moon coming in at the end of a Venus retrograde. We're not done. We're not done with these Venus recalibrations. We're going to see more of it. Some things are going to be brought to the light, and what I want y'all to do. And since I started doing this on this channel, y'all, last year. Pardon me. Since I started doing this on this channel last year, I can tell y'all that when I do my full moon gratitude rituals, which is simply me expressing gratitude for whatever that energy is showing up in my life based on the house that I have that moon sitting in, that moon sign in, or the sign that matches the house of the house that matches the sign of the moon, okay, during that full moon phase. Since I started doing that, y'all, I can tell you that I've been seeing immediate results. Gratitude produces immediate results, y'all. It is one of the quickest ways to manifest. Simply expressing gratitude for it. That is one of the quickest ways to, one of the absolute fastest ways to manifest new energy into your life is to express gratitude for it. Because it's there. It's there. When I told y'all, when you have a desire for something, that desire that you have is based on a version of you that already exists on a different frequency. It's just you simply change the TV station or change the radio station to the frequency that has the show or the song playing on it that you want to hear. If you have a desire in your heart for something, it's righteous. If it's a righteous desire, like you can't have a desire to go out there and smack somebody upside their head with a fly swatter. You know what I mean? That's not righteous, and you got to pay consequences for things that are not righteous. But if you have a righteous desire for something out there, it is because that version of you already exists. I told y'all I shifted. That's why the hair's gone. That was part of me shifting into a new version of me that already exists. And I like that version better than the old version. So that's another way to do it, y'all. Simply express gratitude for it, because you literally already do have it. You already have it. When you express gratitude for it, like magic, it shows up. I've seen that happen since I started doing these full moon gratitude rituals, which is simply me expressing gratitude. So we're going to do that tonight. All right. So what are we talking about? The main event is here, y'all. The main event is here. Championship fight. Here we go. What is being revealed regarding our finances, values, personal possessions, partner? Wait, nope. See, I messed that up. See, I'm glad I put that in there, because the finances, values, and personal possessions, that's second house. That's Taurus energy. That's not Venus energy. So let me update my notes. Okay. Now, what is Control Z? What is being revealed regarding our partnerships? Okay. Yeah. See, I mixed up. I got that theme. I did a mashup of that theme and the Venus retrograde. This is hyper focused on partnerships because Libra rules over the 7th house of partnerships. So what is being revealed regarding our partnerships during this full moon cycle? All right. And remember, partnerships are not personal possessions. I have to say that. That's why I think that the marriage rate in this country is so. This is why people get their hearts broken in relationships, because they think that their partnerships are personal possessions, and they're not. Yes, you can say that's my partner, but from a partnership standpoint, like Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson were partners. Their partnership was based on Phil being the coach and Michael being a starting shooting guard. Okay, Phil gave Michael plays, Michael executed them. If Michael thought something could work better on the floor, he talked to Phil about it, okay? That was their partnership. But when Michael said, that's my coach, he wasn't saying, that's my coach like I own him. It was, that is the coach I'm connected to. That is the coach I partner with. That's my partner, not my possession. All right. That's where people get these things mixed up. They're like, I don't know. You don't own nobody owns anybody. Okay. Even if you got papers on them and it's 1860, you still don't own them. All right. They're agreeing to that. They're agreeing to that arrangement. Because I promise you, there was a whole bunch of so-called slaves that said, you don't own me. And when they got the opportunity, they did what they had to do to free themselves. Okay. Django. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So what's being revealed regarding our partnerships and what is being brought into balance? Okay. And then we're going to express gratitude. Let's go through the houses. All right. And I did not put any timestamps in there for those undercards, but I ain't worried about it. It'll be all right. So we're going to go to the first house right now. First house, I'm at what time marker? I'm going to say 1 minute 25, 1 hour, 25 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. First house. Hello. Libra risings, where y'all at? If you have Libra in your first house, if you are a Libra rising, if you have Libra as your ascendant, what is being revealed with regards to your partnerships? Okay. The first house is the house of self. So again, during this full moon cycle, if you're a Libra rising, you're going to get more revelations on how you are showing up for yourself. What is your partnership with yourself? How are you showing up for yourself? What's being brought into balance for you during this full moon cycle is your relationship with yourself. Are you giving too much of yourself? Are you giving too much of yourself? Libra rules over partnerships. The first house is the house of self. Are you giving more of yourself than you should be? Are you giving to yourself? That is the theme for you if you have Libra in your first house. So what's being brought back into balance is your relationship with yourself. So find a way to express gratitude for the rebalancing. And there are a number of themes with Libra, but the one I want to focus on tonight on this channel has to deal with balance, okay? Things being brought back into balance. So if you have Libra in your first house, simply express gratitude for a rebalancing of how you show up for yourself, okay? How you show up for yourself. It's more of that Venus retrograde in the sign of Aries even. More of that, more continuation of that energy. Express gratitude for the new revelations of who you are, who the man in the mirror is. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. That's your theme song during this full moon if you are Libra rising. Okay? Express gratitude. Express gratitude. Give praise, give thanks to the Most High. Thanks to the universe. Whatever works for you. Okay? Whatever title, whatever that energy is in your mind. The divine, the universal I am presence. Okay? The spirit of truth. Spirit of righteousness. Whatever that is for you. Express gratitude for the balancing of yourself. For the new way that you're going to show up for yourself. Okay? The first house is also the house of appearances, so maybe you're balancing your looks as well. Maybe something is coming into balancing and calibration with the way that you appear as well. The way that you appear, the first house is the house of appearances, how you appear to the world, but also how you appear to yourself. So maybe you're welcoming in fresh new energy of balance with regards to yourself. All right? Your appearances. I know lately I've been filling out the shoulders, the chest. I've been doing spending a lot of time in the gym. Okay? So that's if you have Libra in your first house. All right. Let's say 128. Let's say 128.40. If you have Libra in your second house. If you got Libra in your second house, what's being revealed with regards to your finances? What revelations are you getting with regards to your finances, your personal possessions? What's being brought back into balance for you during this full moon cycle has to deal with your finances and your personal possessions, as well as it could be just things that you value. What do you personally value? That is what the light is being shined onto for you if you're a second house Libra. Also, it could be a rebalancing of your finances. Maybe your finances were out of balance. Maybe you were out of balance with regards to your personal possessions. But more importantly, when we look at that second house is ruled by Taurus, it's a lot of people look at the primary thing people look at there is money. What are my money, my valuables, okay? Right now, money is a major theme in this country with the hyperinflation. So perhaps during this full moon, you express gratitude for the balancing and recalibration of your finances. Just express gratitude for it and watch it happen. Watch it happen. That's if you got Libra in your second house. All about your values, all about your money. What's being revealed to you is ways that you can balance your finances. Give thanks for that. Express gratitude for the revelation. Perhaps you're going to get some information brought into you that is going to help you to balance. Libra is an air sign. Air rules over communication and thoughts as well. So maybe you're going to get some communication coming in that's going to help you to rebalance your finances. Express gratitude. And guess what? That's coming in off of Venus retrograde. So the universe is already giving you some shock and awe with regards to your finances anyway. The universe is already giving you some shock and awe with regards to your finances if you have Libra in your second house. So now it is time to express gratitude for the balancing of your finances, your personal possessions, and even as simple as the things that you value and hold near and dear to your heart. Okay? All right? That is Venus in the second house. All right? Let's say 13110, third house. 13110. If you have Venus in your third house, and I'll probably, adjust that time a little bit. It'll be off a few seconds. But if you have Venus in your third house, what's being revealed to you with regards to your communication, all right? Your thoughts, your expression. So what's being brought into balance for you is got to do with how you express yourself. Could be your communication. It could be some communication that's maybe you are, remember the third house is ruled by Gemini. Geminis are twins. So Gemini has to deal with communication is two-way. It's talking, but it's also listening. Maybe you haven't been speaking enough. Maybe you've been doing too much listening, too much inbound communication, and not enough. You're out of balance because you haven't been speaking enough. So maybe express gratitude for a balancing of your communication. Maybe you're going to begin to express yourself more and say, hey, show up more with regards to your expression. You're going to get that in balance. Maybe some communication is going to come in that balances things out for you. Maybe it's going to have, maybe you're going to get some truths revealed to you that's going to come in the form of a written communication, maybe a phone call, something that's going to bring you back into balance with regards to your third house energy. It's ruled by Gemini. Third house ruled by Gemini. So when you got Libra in your third during a Libra full moon, you're welcoming in fresh new energy, fresh new abundance energy with regards to your communication. Not only are you listening now, you're going to speak more. But if you're talking too much and not listening enough, that's the other way. That's the other twin. One twin listens, the other talks. And then they take turns. That's that Gemini energy. So maybe you're talking too much and not listening enough. Maybe what's being brought back into balance for you is that equality, that equilibrium with regards to your communication. Okay? It also rules over, the third house also rules over siblings. So maybe you're bringing back into balance, or what's coming back into balance for you is your relationship with your siblings. Okay? That's a lesser known energy of the third house. The third house also rules over siblings and your relationship with your siblings. So maybe that's coming back into balance for you if you have Libra in your third house. So give gratitude, express gratitude for the balancing and the recalibration of your communication, your expression, how you express yourself. Maybe more expression of truth, because Libra energy is about truth as well. It's about truth as well. Libra is about truth. That's that seventh house. That seventh house passes. It touches into that eighth house. Scorpio looks for the truth. Okay? Or Scorpio investigates what was spoken by that Libra sign. All right, that's that seventh house into eighth house interplay. But that seventh house is also truth. If you want to know what that seventh house holds, simply look up the 7 principles of Ma'at. That's a great way to do it. That is a great way to do it, and you're probably going to learn some more. But with Libra in your third house, it's going to deal with your communication. So what's going to be revealed to you is something with regards to communication, or you're going to get a revelation about something else that's going to bring everything back into alignment. And there is one first house theme that I forgot to mention. If you're a Libra rising, for my Libra risings watching, I failed to mention this, But if you got Libra in your first house, that first house, that dictates your entire chart. That's your I am statement. So if you got Libra in your first house, you are also recalibrating. You're getting a balance of your entire natal chart. Every aspect, every area of your life is going to be illuminated and brought into balance. Give gratitude for the rebalancing of your entire life if you're a Libra rising. The first house statement is I am. That's everything. That includes everything. The planetary ruler of your first house is what is known as your chart ruler. So, for example, if you're a Libra rising, that means Venus is your chart ruler. Everything that you do is going to be done with some element of grace, elegance, love, beauty, all of that. So I failed to mention that. I needed to mention that. Whatever that first house sign is, that is your chart ruler. And whatever that energy is, it touches every single aspect of your chart. Okay. This is why I'm gonna talk about my Sagittarius risings people. Shout out to my brother Jimmy if you're still watching. Sag rising, they're known as being the luckiest people ever because everything they touch turns to gold. Why? Because Jupiter is their chart ruler, and Jupiter is the planet of quote unquote luck and abundance. Blessings is another way to look at it. So everything that person does is blessed. They get blessings out of nowhere. They'd be like, how did he get that? How did she get that? Look at their chart. Look at their chart. You're probably going to see Sagittarius in the first house. But we're not talking about Sagittarius. We're talking about Libra. So now at 130, let's say 135.55, we're talking about Libra in the fourth house. All right. If you have Libra in your fourth house, that's the house of home and family, as well as your emotions. What's being revealed to you by this full moon has to do with your emotions. Something about your emotions is going to be revealed to you. And it's going to be some truth about who you are emotionally. Something that has to deal with your emotions. Also, how you showing up in your family. Okay? So it's got to deal with your family. So some family dynamic for you or something with regards to your emotions is going to be brought into balance during this full moon cycle. Express gratitude for it. Express gratitude for the balancing of your home, your family, and or your emotions if you have Libra in your fourth house. The fourth house is ruled by the moon. So that's a powerful placement during a full moon. Okay? Any signs that touch your fourth house during a full moon cycle, that's a powerful placement because the fourth house is ruled by the moon. So it's the ruling planet. So express gratitude. You got some balancing coming in there. With Libra also ruling over partnerships. Okay, you may have an emotional partnership that comes into balance during this full moon cycle or some revelation. And remember, balancing sometimes feels good, sometimes it doesn't. So don't always look at balancing like it's ultimately a positive thing, but how you get there, how you arrive at that balance may or may not feel good. Just keep that in mind. That goes for all of these houses. How you come into balance may or may not feel good. Balancing is going to happen. The universe itself is balanced. So how that balance is achieved, it may feel good, it may not. But you still want to express gratitude because guess what? At the end of it, the work will be done and you will be back in balance. All right? So that's fourth house. 137.50. If you have Libra in your fifth house, you want to, what's being revealed is has something to do with your creativity or your self-confidence. The fifth house rules over the third chakra, which is your solar plexus chakra. So it is areas of our lives where we're confident. It's areas of our lives where we're supposed to shine, okay? You got to operate in that energy to do it, though. You got to operate in that energy to do it, okay? I'm a fifth house. For example, I'm a fifth house Pisces. So I'm going to shine in the area of spirituality is one of the themes of Pisces, okay? That's going to be a strength of mine. That's going to be an area where I shine. If I'm trying to act like a fifth house Libra when I was created as a fifth house Pisces, then that's not going to work out. So that's not going to be an area where I'm shining because I'm not operating in the energy of who I am. Just want to give you that example. So if you have Libra in your fifth house, you're getting a revelation about something about your creativity, something about your strengths, okay? That fifth house is ruled by the sun. So that sun is our core vitality. I like often call the sun, the fifth house, I often call that a backup sun sign. Okay, that's like a backup sun sign. So if you have Libra sitting in your fifth house, you are going to get a recalibration and a balancing of your creativity. It could have to deal with your things that you're passionate about. You're going to those things are going to come into balance for you. Okay, it could have to deal with children as well. It's creativity, but it also has to deal with children. So maybe, you know, there's something with regards to a partnership that you have that may produce children. I don't know. That's very specific for maybe a small subset of people out there. I don't know. But the primary theme I like to look at with the fifth house is creativity, where our artistic abilities, our strengths, our passions. Fifth house rules over competition, things of that nature. Okay, so your athletic ability is going to be found in your fifth house. So any of those fifth house themes are going to be brought into balance. What you want to do is you want to find out that one that applies to you most and express gratitude for that. Okay, that's your fifth house. Creativities, passions, things that we're passionate about. You know, pleasure, things that bring us pleasure. If you're listen, that's gonna come into balance for you too. Some of us with Libra in the fifth house, you might be in overindulgent in some area. Remember, again, balancing it can feel good or can feel not so good, but it's gonna bring you back into balance. So maybe some things that you've been overindulging in, it's gonna come back into balance. Indulgences live in the fifth house too, because the fifth house is things that give us pleasure. So if you're overindulging in something, that's going to be brought into balance. If there's something that you desire more of, you know, you want to, maybe something that you're passionate about or something that would give you pleasure, but you're not engaging in it, it's probably going to come into balance for you in a good way. You're gonna start to level that out. So that's but I like, my favorite theme for the fifth house is creativity. Okay, these your artists, people with strong fifth house placements tend to be your performing artists, your visual artists, things that have to deal with the arts, performance, that sort of thing. Those things are, you're going to get some revelation with regards to that, and those things are going to be brought into balance for you. Express gratitude for that. Express gratitude for the balancing and the revelation of truth with regards to things that give you pleasure, your passions, your creativity, and even more importantly, your confidence. Your confidence is going to be brought back into balance because, again, the fifth house rules over the third chakra, which is the solar plexus chakra, which is the center of our self-confidence. So I even like that one even better than creativity, because if you got no self-confidence, how are you going to be creative, right? Creativity and self-confidence go together. So if you have Libra in your fifth house, you are going to be brought into balance. What's coming into balance for you has to deal with your self-confidence, and that's something to be happy about. That's something to get excited about. Okay, sixth house, if you have Libra in your sixth house, let's say 142. Okay, 142. If you have Libra in your sixth house, the sixth house is what? Sixth house is ruled by Virgo. That's about our daily tasks, our daily routines, as well as how we organize and how we pay attention to detail. So what's going to come into balance for you, what's going to be revealed to you, are details, small details about something. It could be details in general about something that's important to you, but it also could be details with regards to your partnerships, because Libra rules over partnerships, right? So you may get a revelation of details with regards to some partnership that you're in. If you got Libra sitting in your sixth house, you may get a revelation, or you may get some fresh details with regards to some partnership that you're in. Okay. Also, you may get a balancing. We're talking about things being brought into balance. You may your daily routines may have gotten out of balance. They're going to come back into balance during this full moon cycle. Express gratitude for it and watch it activate. If your daily routines, if you felt out of balance with regards to your daily tasks, with regards to how you work, you feel scattered, you feel like maybe you're not organized, express gratitude for the balancing of your daily tasks and watch them come back. Watch everything just magically organize and come right back into shape. You're going to be doing this stuff and not know how it happened. It happened because you expressed gratitude for it, and that version of you already exists. That version of you already exists, okay? That's if you have, excuse me, also your health. Also your health. The sixth house rules over health as well. So maybe your health was out of alignment. If you've been feeling like something with regards to your health has been out of alignment, all you got to do is tap into that universal energy and express gratitude. Divine Father, thank you. Thank you for rebalancing my wellness. Thank you for balancing my health. Thank you. The kingdom of God is within you, right? Pursuant to Luke 17:21, go within and give that thanks. Turn it inward. Turn it inward. Turn it inward. If I had Libra in my sixth house, I'd say, Matthew, thank you for balancing your health. You know, I just felt that. You know how powerful that is? You really can't thank God by thanking yourself. The kingdom of God is within you. Everybody has some degree of source energy in them because we come from source. You don't believe me? Try it. You don't believe me? Try that. I just felt that, and I ain't even know 6th house Libra. I literally just felt that saying it. That's how powerful gratitude, that's how powerful an activator that gratitude is. I don't know why I ended up there. All praises to the Most High. I don't know why I ended up there, but I almost left that part out. That is so important, y'all. That is so important. That's part of me doing what I've been doing with my own wellness. Okay, because I'm a 6th house Aries. When Neptune, which is ruled, Neptune rules over Pisces, which rules over the 12th house. When Neptune entered into the sign of Aries, I got a surge of, Neptune also is about our dreams. I had visions of how I want to look and feel, and I've been watching that come into fruition. I'm like, okay, I'm standing up in my clothes a little different now. Okay. Thank yourself. I'm telling you, that's powerful. That may sound off to somebody, but feel it. If it don't feel right, don't do it. But I promise you, the Messiah said the kingdom of God is within you. So thank yourself. Y'all, that just stymied me. If you got Virgo, I know I spent this a lot of time on this, probably too much time. But if you have Libra, why is my pen not writing? Don't play with me. Okay, hang on a sec. The eraser's on, that's why. 146, let's say 146.20. It's 25. Okay, that was Libra. That was Libra in your 6th house. If you have Libra in your 6th house, express gratitude for the rebalancing of your health and wellness and watch it happen. If you have Libra in your 7th house, you're right at home. Libra rules over the 7th house. If you have Libra sitting in your 7th house, then you're going to get more revelation. This is going to be more of that theme from that Venus retrograde. You're going to get more spotlight shine into your partnerships. You're going to get more spotlight shine into your partnership. You're going to get revelations of things that have to deal with your partnerships. And those partnerships are going to be brought into balance by the energy of this full moon in Libra. So express gratitude for the balancing of your relationships, your partnerships. You got a partnership that's been out of balance. It hasn't been equal give and take. Express gratitude for equal give and take in your partnerships and watch them adjust. And remember, balancing sometimes feels good. Sometimes it's painful. But the ending of it, you always appreciate because you're brought back into balance. Who wants to be out of balance, right? Codependency is, well, you know what, man, as long as they're okay, I'm all right. I don't have to be, just as long as they're, no, that's not balanced. That's not equal give and take. That's not being equally yoked. That's one ox pulling and the other one not doing anything. No, Express gratitude for the balancing of your partnerships and watch it happen. I'm telling y'all, this gratitude thing is powerful, y'all. I've seen it every month. Every month, when my gratitude rituals are in alignment with the energy of that sign that full moon is in, it has happened every month. And sometimes it's been painful and sometimes it's been pleasurable, but each and every time the aftermath has been a better version of me. A better version of me. So express gratitude. All right. That is, why does this thing keep turning on to this eraser? Okay. That's if you have Venus in your 7th house, all right? What's being revealed has to deal with your partnerships, and what's being brought back into balance for you is your partnerships. Your natural. 7th house is ruled by Venus. I mean, ruled by Libra. I said Venus. It's all the same, right? Venus rules over the 7th house and the 2nd house. But if your 7th house is in the sign of Libra, then that's what's being brought back into balance for you, and that's where your revelations are. So expect it, express gratitude, and watch it happen for you. If you have Libra sitting in your 8th house at 148.35. If you have Libra sitting in your 8th house, you are what's being revealed to you has to deal with your ability to transform. Now, everybody, 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. Let me just say this up front and get it over with. That has to deal with sacred energy exchange too. Y'all know what that acronym is. I'm not going to talk about it, okay? Because there may be a youth still on here, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Y'all know what that sacred energy exchange is. That may be coming back into calibration for you as well. That may be brought back into balance for you some type of way. But the main theme I like to look at with the 8th house is alchemy and transformation. So What's being brought back into balance for you is something that has to deal with transformation. Okay. Part of transformation, y'all, is death and regeneration, death and renewal. That is the transformation cycle. This is why eighth house is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpios are known to be the most powerful alchemists of the zodiac, the most powerful alchemists, some of the most powerful manifestors. That eighth house also, it lends itself to life path number eights. So life path number eights are known to be powerful alchemists and powerful manifestors as well. That's that same 8 energy. So if you have Libra sitting in your 8th house, you're going to see a recalibration of your and remember, the 8th house is the house of, if the 2nd house is the house of my stuff, the 8th house is the house of our stuff. Okay. It is about joint possessions. Okay. So maybe you're now Scorpio, where Taurus is more me focused, Scorpio is more us focused. Scorpio is the ruler of the 8th house. So if you have Libra sitting in your 8th house, what could have been out of balance for you is the amount to which you are sacrificing and not receiving that in return. That's going to be balanced out for you if you have Libra sitting in your 8th house. Okay. Has to deal with your joint possessions, okay, as well as your ability to transform yourself and transform anything that it is that you desire to transform. So express gratitude for the balancing of give. That's about give and take too, y'all, believe it or not. I know that 7th house is more partnership. 8th house, the 7th house leads into the 8th house. But the 8th house is more about regeneration, but it's also about joint or partner ownership. Okay. First house sits opposite the 7th house. The first house is the house of self. 7th house is the house of partnerships. The 2nd house is the house of possessions, single possessions, single ownership possessions. The 8th house is the house of joint possession. So maybe you haven't been getting your fair share or giving your fair share. That's going to be brought back into balance for you. Okay. That's if you have Libra in that 8th house. Express gratitude for it. Express gratitude for it. Transformation as well. Transformation. Maybe there's been something that has been keeping you from being able to transform. Express gratitude for the balancing out of your transformation energy and watch your transformation soar. Okay. All right. That is Libra in the 8th house. 150. If you have Libra in your 9th house, if you got Libra in your 9th house, that is the house of foreign affairs. That's the house of travel. That is the house of higher education. That's, for me, my favorite themes of the 9th house is that's the house of religion as well. For me, my favorite theme with the 9th house is freedom, because it's ruled by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius do not like to be held down. Wherever you got Sagittarius in your chart, that's going to represent an area where you want to be free. You do not want to feel like you're being tied down. So if you have Libra in your 9th house, if you got Libra in your 9th house, that's almost like, I wouldn't say Venus in Sagittarius. That's more like Jupiter and Libra, maybe. I don't know, because the Jupiter rules over the 9th house. So the 9th house is also another area where your gifts are. That's we talked about that in my last live stream. So if you have Libra in your 9th house, okay, you're going to what's being revealed to you actually may have everything to deal with. The 9th house is your secondary gifts. Your Jupiter sign is your primary gifts. To me, your 9th house is your secondary gifts. So if you have Libra sitting in your 9th house, you have a gift for balance and harmony. You're gifted in it. So maybe what you're going to do is you're going to see what's going to be brought back into balance for you is your ability to balance on a grander scale. The 9th house is also the house of expansion. So there are a lot of 9th house themes there, guys. You can look them up. But what is being brought back into balance for you if you have Libra in your 9th house is your ability to balance things that have to deal with being away from home. Libra rules over partnerships too. So that could talk about your partnerships. The 9th house, if I'm not mistaken, rules over our relationships with our cousins, right? Our cousins are our external siblings. Our siblings are in the 3rd house. Our external siblings would be across in the 9th house. What your external siblings are pretty much the children of your uncles and aunts. Okay. So you maybe have some recalibration and some balancing of your relationships with your uncles, aunts, your cousins, that sort of thing as well. Those are some themes you may see. But the theme I like to see the most is the freedom part. Maybe you've been stuck. Maybe you've been feeling like there's been something that has kept you from expanding. With this Libra moon, this new moon in Libra, this full moon in Libra, with Libra sitting in your ninth house, is going to bring into balance your ability to expand, to feel free, to travel, to do those things, those ninth house themes. Okay. Maybe now something's been holding you back from maybe some continuing education or some higher learning or something like that. That's going to be set free for you with this Libra full moon. Express gratitude for it. And it also has to deal with religion. Okay. So maybe there's something's going to be revealed to you with regards to your relationship with the Most High, and perhaps the capacity through which you are in service to the Most High. Okay. Religion. The ninth house rules over religion. So maybe there's something that's going to be revealed to you with regards to your church, your affiliation with your church, your affiliation with your house of worship, your mosque or your synagogue, depending on what religious discipline you're in, your temple. If you're in one of the Eastern religions, maybe you're going to get a revelation with regards to that. But it's also about wisdom too. So you may come into balance. Maybe you're going to get a revelation with regards to something that has to deal with wisdom. Okay. And that's going to be rebalanced for you and recalibrated. You may leave this full moon cycle feeling more wise. But think about that version of you. If you're feeling stuck, think about that version of you that exists, that is free, and bring yourself into alignment with that. Libra's about alignment too. It's about alignment. The scales do this until they finally come into balance. So think about that. All right. That's Libra in the ninth. If you have Libra in the 10th, we're going to say that's 156. Let's say 156.10. If you have Libra in your 10th house, what is going to come into balance for you? You're going to have some revelation with regards to something with your career, okay, and perhaps your partnerships in your career, your occupation, whatever that is for you. All right. Again, Libra rules over partnerships as well. So with this full moon in Libra, it could have something to do with your partnerships with regards to your career. Okay. And any other house I named, think about partnerships in that as well. I know I've been jumping around, but also think about partnerships because Libra rules over partnerships as well. So, but if you've got Libra in your 10th house, something is going to be brought into balance with regards to your career. What is it that you want to bring into balance with regards to your career? Do you have a work-life balance? That's huge. That's huge when you're working these corporate jobs or you're in some type of career or something where you're, especially for salaried employees. I had that issue when I was in corporate America. Salary. When I went from being hourly to salary, I was spending way more time at work than I probably would have if I were hourly. So if you're in a salaried position in your career, maybe your work-life balance is not balanced at all. So express gratitude. Envision that version of you that has a balance between your work life and your home life, and express gratitude for that and watch it come into alignment for you. And again, sometimes these things don't feel good. You may express gratitude for that. And then your boss may call you up in a week and say, hey, listen, we've been thinking about making some changes. We think we want to let you go. That could happen. But guess what? If that does happen, that is happening for your good. You got to remember, and you got to say this, everything is always working out for my good. If you say it's working out for your bad, that's what's going to happen. Everything is always working out for my good. So you're going to get some revelation with regards to career, and something's going to be brought into balance. Express gratitude for the balancing of something with regards to your career, okay? Or perhaps partnerships that have to deal with your career. That is if you have Libra in your 10th house, okay? All right. And the 10th house is also about achievement because it's ruled by Capricorn as well. So maybe you're going to get a revelation about something that's going to help you bring yourself into alignment with the version of you that is an achiever. Okay. All right. So that's just another thing I wanted to throw out there. 11th house, 158.40. 158.40. If you have Libra sitting in your 11th house, then the 11th house has to deal with ways that we innovate because it's ruled by Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. So it's about innovation. It's about ways that we show up for others. Ways that we show up for others. It's the Aquarius rules the 11th house is the house of humanitarianism as well. It's the house of collective thought, collective interaction, group interaction. So maybe you're going to get a revelation or the spotlight being shined into something with regards to your participation and your partnership in these groups. Okay. What is that like for you? What is going to show up in these groups that you're affiliated with? If you have Libra in your 11th house, okay? Libra again is a cardinal air sign, so maybe you're a thought leader in these groups. But perhaps there's something that is going to come into balance for you that has been out of balance. That's the theme we're talking about. There are other themes with Libra, but the one we're talking about on this channel, on this night, has to deal with balance. Okay? Things being recalibrated and brought back into balance. Why? Because we're just coming out of a Venus retrograde. This is why I wanted this theme for tonight. Retrogrades are about course corrections, recalibrations, okay? So I decided to continue that theme with the balance. So if you have Libra sitting in your 11th house, something is going to be brought into balance for you with regards to your ways that you show up for groups, ways that you show up for others, ways that you're a thought leader in these groups, okay? You're a thought leader, you're a speech leader. Maybe you take the lead, maybe you're the one, maybe you're the spokesperson. Libras are great spokespersons, okay? They're great spokespersons. It's a cardinal air sign, okay? So they're thought leaders and speech leaders. Maybe there's something in that group that you're a member of that that needs to come into balance for you. Or even there's something that has been perhaps out of balance that has kept you from being innovative. Find that version of you that exists on another frequency. You see that person, you see that version of you, you dream about that version of you, and you say, I wish I could be him. I wish I could be her. Don't wish it. They already exist. All you got to do is shift your mindset into being in alignment with that version. I talk about this all the time on this channel, family. If you are listening to, if the radio's tuned to a station and you don't like the music, change to a station where you like the music. Because that music is already out there. All you got to do is set that radio to that frequency. And then you bring that music into your vehicle or into your home. It's the same way with our lives. That version of you that you aspire to be already exists. That is the whole lesson that the Messiah was teaching his inner circle in the Gospel of Thomas. When he said, if the two make peace in one house, what are the two? The outside of you and the inside of you. If the two make peace in one house, you'll say to the mountain, be removed, and it will. He was teaching them how to manifest. Make the inside of you match that version of you that exists outside of you, that's playing on another channel, on another TV station. It's the same for all of these, y'all, depending on what house you have that in. That version of you already exists. I'm telling y'all, I'm in some new energy since I did that. I learned, when I teach all these things, I learn. When I teach all these things, I learn. Why? Because I'm a ninth house Gemini. The ninth house is about teaching. Gemini is the energy of the student. So when I teach y'all, I learn. I learn from what's coming through me. I'm just a vessel. All right. My life has changed since I've done that. I know that version of Matthew, that dope ASS version of Matthew already exists. And I got tired of that other version. I'm like, nah, I'm better than that. I see him. I see him when I go to sleep at night. I envision him. That dude is dope. He got it all together. He knows what he wants. He knows how to get it. He already exists. Why am I in this energy when I'm over there already? All I got to do is switch to that channel. That's you. That's you. All right? So, if there's anything that is preventing you from being innovative, that's out of balance, it's going to come into balance for you. And that's going to open up that innovation energy. That's going to open up that rebel with a cause. If you are an 11th house Libra, but you're like, well, I want to make sure I'm following the rules, then you're out of balance. Because the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, which talks about how we break the rules when they don't work. If the rules don't work for you and breaking them doesn't harm anybody physically, that's what that energy is about. How you do it is the sign. So Libra is about doing it in a way that's truthful, balanced, harmonious. If you're a Libra in the 11th house, but you're tolerating things, nah, you're supposed to rebel. That's what the 11th house is about. Make it work for you. Well, not so much for you, or that's more Leo, 5th house energy, but 11th house is about how do I make this work for everybody? That's that Aquarian energy. Aquarius is the selfless one. Leo is like, this is about me. Remember, Leo rules over the 5th house of creation. Aquarius rules over the 11th house of innovation. So Aquarius energy, 11th house energy is about making things better. So express gratitude for it and watch it come into play. Express gratitude for the rebalancing and the recalibration of your innovation energy, of your rebel for the right cause energy, okay? Of your showing up for others energy, of your showing up for the group energy. Leos rule over that 5th house of children. Leos show up big for their children. I know. My mother's a Leo. My brother's a Leo. My mother don't play about her children even when they're grown. My brother don't play about his children at all, even though his children are grown. He still don't play about his children. Well, he still got some that are not grown, but still. That's Leo energy. Aquarius energy, they don't play about humanity. They don't play about these groups. They're about fairness and equality too. They're servants to humanity. All right, I spent way too much time in the 11th house. If you have, let's see, 20525. If you have, this is the final house. If you have Aquarius in your, if you have Libra in your 12th house, getting late, y'all. If you have Libra in your 12th house, something is going to be, you're going to get a revelation about things that were not revealed so much. The 12th house rules over the subconscious. So about those things that are those hidden natures, that those hidden aspects of us. This is more, again, of that Venus retrograde in Pisces that we're coming out of. This is doubling down on that energy. So if you've got Libra in your 12th house, you're going to get revelations. You're going to get things that come up out of your subconscious and are revealed to you that are going to help to bring you in balance. You're also going to have things revealed to you about your spiritual nature. You may have things revealed to you about your ancestors. The 12th house rules over that rules over the ancestral realm. That's the 12th house is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual, the natural and the supernatural. You may get supernatural revelations if you have Libra sitting in your 12th house. Okay? You may get more of a balance between, if you've been spending too much time in spiritual and not enough time in the physical, okay, or too much time in the physical realm when you are wired to be more spiritual, that's going to get calibrated and brought into balance if you have Libra sitting in your 12th house. That's for my Scorpio risings that don't have any intercepted houses, okay? Or if you're a Libra rising with intercepted houses, you may have Libra also in your 12th house, okay? So if you got Libra sitting in your 12th house, you're going to get something revealed to you with regards to what is on the other side of that bridge between heaven and earth. What is on the other side of that bridge between the natural and the spiritual, the natural and the supernatural. You may be getting divine revelations right now that maybe perhaps you're supposed to bring forth. I'm a 12th house Libra. Maybe this is why I'm getting some of these downloads I've been getting. All right. So that's if you got Libra in the 12th house. So express gratitude for the revelation of things that are spiritual, that is going to not help, not just perhaps you, but perhaps others. You're going to help to bring others into balance. Remember, Pisces rules over the 12th house, and Pisces shares that axis with Virgo. So that's an axis of service too. They do it differently, but one of them is a little bit more grounded. The other one's a little bit more spiritual. Virgo's a little bit more grounded. Pisces is a little bit more psychic. So maybe you give gratitude for truths revealed with regards to psychic gifts, or maybe just things coming into balance for you with regards to balancing your psychic self or your subconscious self with your conscious self. Express gratitude for it and watch it happen. And this is during a Pisces North Node too, so it's going to be supercharged. So that's if you have Libra in your 12th house. And by no means, family, that's all the 12. Those are all 12 houses. I'm done with those. So, and by no means is any of this an exhaustive list. It would take me way too long to go through all. It'd be a 4-hour video. So if you guys want more information on the house that you have Libra in, simply look up that house and what are the themes of that house. And then you can just keep in mind that the theme for this video is about balance. What's coming back into balance for you. Okay. It rules over partnerships. So you could have partnerships. Listen, if you got Libra, I know I'm done with them all, but if you got Libra in your 12th house, that could talk about spiritual partnerships as well. You could have a spiritual partnership that's coming into balance for you. There's that theme out there as well. So anybody that's got Libra sitting in your 12th house, it's quite conceivable that you have a spiritual partnership and that is going to be brought into balance and calibration for you as well. So just wanted to throw that out there. All right, so let me read some comments, family, and we're going to wrap up. Thank y'all for being here tonight. All right, let's see. All right, she said we saw it, but it was kind of small. Sorry about that, Capri 10. Yeah, that particular app, the KJV app, it doesn't really make the print a lot bigger. I've tried to play with it. Let me see. Yeah, I try to work with that. Let me check the settings and see if there's a way that I can make that. Yeah, it doesn't give me a lot of options there with regards to I could turn it white and make it bigger because I still got that scripture on the screen. Let me see settings. Oh, fonts. There we go. Font size. That's about as big as I can get it. Okay. No, I don't want that. I done messed something up there. Hang on. All right, let's leave it there. That might be a little bit more. Okay. That might make it a little bigger. All right. I'll bring that back up if you guys want to just kind of snapshot it or screenshot it. But this is the KJVA app. So if you got the Apocrypha, what I read was Baruch chapter 2, verses 29 through 35. But I'll bring that back up on the screen for you guys and just so you can take a look at it. I won't read it again. I'll just leave it up there. So if you want to pause the video and screenshot it or something like that, you can. So let's do that. I'll share it one more time for you guys. I'm not going to read it again, but here, let's try that. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that. I changed the background from black to white. And, that's verses 29 through 35. And that's as large as the font will get. So hopefully you guys can see that on the screen. Let me switch over and see what that looks like. Let me see if I take myself out of it. It doesn't make it any bigger. No, it doesn't make it any bigger. So just take a screenshot of that. And again, that's Baruch from the Apocrypha. That's Baruch chapter 2, verses 29 through 35. All right. And I'll stop sharing now. Okay. So what we got here? Let's see. Where did I stop there? So it was kind of small. Okay. Nature sometimes uses a forest fire to maintain balance. That is absolutely true. Space Elf, thank you for sharing that. What's up, Tony? Thank you for joining tonight, brother. Bella, what's up, Bella? You didn't hear me mention your name there, but you'll see it in the replay. Let's see, Mike, random bystander. It's also interesting to not know your houses, but learn and express all kinds of gratitude and be open to any and all of them occurring, and then we'll observe in hindsight. That is very true, Mike. That is very true. No doubt about it. Stellium, jump in the mirror and feel the real deal. I heard that. She said, I do mirror magic all the time. 6th house Aries. I've heard of it. It's not something I do, but I heard of it and I heard it works for people. Mike, it's my pleasure, Mike. Thank you for being here tonight. Just because said, grew up Catholic, never thought about Passover. Tonight, I get chills thinking about the Most High protecting the houses marked by the blood of the Lamb. Despite challenges, I feel calmer and protected. Listen, that is the beauty of this thing. Everything is about intention. Y'all, energy is so powerful and it is so tied to intention. It is so tied to intention. This is why I tell people all the time, check your intentions. Check your intentions because your intentions help to create your reality. They really do. Let's see. You are so welcome. Just because, thank you for being here. Faithful and true. Tora Girl, my pleasure. My pleasure. She said, thank you. I'm grateful that you're doing this every month. It keeps me focused and aware. Hey, Tora Girl, you are one of the people that actually helped to keep me focused with doing this. Because I remember one time where I got off and you were like, hey, Matt, are we doing that video tonight? I haven't missed one since. So thank you. I told you, y'all help keep me sharp. Y'all do. Faithful and true. My pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you. So listen, family, that's all I got. I'm going to get ready to end this video, wrap it up. I'm going to do this like I always do. If you haven't done so already, please tap that like button for me on the way out. And if you are new, and again, for those of you that are watching this video, thank y'all for those of y'all that were here for the whole video. If you're watching this, going back watching it on demand, you probably won't hear the song in there. I'm just gonna respect the copyright one. If they say it's okay or something, I might leave it there. Whatever, we'll see. Sometimes it affects the views, sometimes it doesn't. But if YouTube doesn't bark about it too much, maybe I'll leave the "Mary Don't You Weep" by Aretha Franklin in there. But if they bark about it, I'll just trim that part of the video out. And so y'all do me a favor, tap that like button if you did enjoy this. If you are new to my channel and you enjoy being entertained, educated, uplifted, inspired, please hit that subscribe button and make sure that your notification bell is set to all so you'll be notified when I upload new content or when I go live. Make sure that notification bell is set to all, because sometimes people don't get the notifications and I hear about it later and I'm like, you always got to check it. When you got truth channels or content providers that are doing things that are not fuckery, y'all know what that means. If it's a channel with fuckery, they're gonna get all their views, they're gonna get all their notifications. When it goes against that grain and they're trying to uplift and spread light, those channels get messed with sometimes by the platform. So it's on you as the subscriber to make sure that if it seems like your content providers aren't putting content out there, always first check your subscription status and make sure that it is the way that you said it. Because I've been unsubscribed from channels that I did not unsubscribe from, and I've had to go back and subscribe to them. And I notified those content creators that, hey, people are being unsubscribed from your channel. So just as a matter of awareness, okay? So yeah, make sure you're doing that. And last two things. One, y'all, it's never too late to show love. I know that age is getting late. I know we're about to see a cosmic flip. I know we're the generation that is going to see some things that we did not know were even possible. I mean, there are stories that we read in the Bible or heard about in Sunday school or saw in documentaries like was Genesis real, or did the flood really happen, or something like that? Or there was one I saw years ago that said it's Genesis history, and these scientists were breaking down how the stories about the Grand Canyon and the different rock formations, they were like, look at this. You can see that this was rapidly rising and rapidly declining water. There's no way that this took place over 250 million years. This happened in a short, quick amount of time. I love documentaries like that. But anyway, a lot of these things that we've heard about, read about in scripture and in church and stuff like that, we just never really thought. Like, I speak for myself. I never thought I'd see the day that this stuff was actually coming into fruition, but it's coming into fruition. And I'm going to talk more about that probably in the Sunday Night Live this coming Sunday. I'll see what downloads I get between tonight and tomorrow night, and I'll be back on here live Sunday unless something comes up, and then it'll be Monday. But I'm looking forward to that, because then we'll get away from this and get more back into the scripture and prophetic stuff, because y'all, there's a lot of people that are expecting some things to kick off with this particular Passover season, and I'm seeing some cosmic alignments this Passover that I've never seen. Or maybe I just wasn't aware of them before, but I'm definitely aware of them now. So I keep saying this, y'all, 2025 is going to be a year to remember. It's going to be a year to remember. But even with it being late in the day, late in the season, late in the midnight hour, getting to where the bridegroom's about to come to the chamber, and whoever ain't got their oil for their lamp ain't going to get no oil. You ain't getting none from Matt. I'm here to tell you now. All right? I ain't got none for you. But that being said, it's never too late to show love. And how do we show it? It's one thing to tell it, but it's another thing to show it. That's how you mean it. When you tell somebody you love them, you hear people say, "Oh, I love you" all the time, and they don't show anything. Love is an action. It's a noun as well, but it's a verb first. So when you show love, when you focus on showing love, there'll be love. All right? Focus on showing it. Be the love that you want to feel, and give some of that to yourself. Give some of that to yourself. And especially during this Libra season. Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of love and beauty. Share some of your own beauty with you. That's been one of the toughest lessons I've had to learn in my lifetime, is sharing some of the beauty I share with others with myself. It took me a long time to figure that out, y'all, and it feels good. I see why a lot of y'all love me, man. I'm like, damn, I am pretty dope. And that's not bragging. That's like, this is what I've been missing out on. So that's about balance too, y'all. So often we give so much of ourselves to others, and we don't give it to ourselves. You're worthy of your love. You are worthy of your love. Remember that, okay? So, yeah, give some of that to you too. And last thing I'll say is this. Authenticity, baby. That's the theme all year long, authenticity. If you are not operating in the energy of authenticity, if you are not being your true, authentic self, there's no way you can reach your destiny. Because your goal is to come in alignment with your higher self, which is perfect. Your higher self is perfect, believe it or not. Your higher self is perfectly made. We come here, we forget who we are, and we got to relearn it. But your goal is to get back to your higher self. The only way to do that is to operate in authenticity. Because if you're not being authentic, if you're not being 100% authentic, who are you? You're not being you. When you operate in the energy of authenticity, you will arrive at your destiny. If you don't, you may run out of time in this vehicle and may have to come back and repeat it again. Who wants to do that? Because listen, I've had a lot of fun in my lifetime, but a lot of this stuff sucked. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. A lot of it sucked. You like, I know I don't want to do that again. All right. But then somewhere your higher self is laughing, saying, wow, that was fun. Like getting on a scary roller coaster that makes you feel like you're going to throw up. All right. Your higher self is probably looking at it like it's fun, but who wants to keep playing the same game over and over? Like, don't you want to put one away and play a different game? Only way you're going to do that is to operate in the energy of 100% authenticity. All right. Who are you really? Will the real you please stand up? What you came here to do, you're being graded on. You will not be able to blame anybody else for you not making your grade, for you not completing your agreed upon tasks that you agreed upon before you came to this earth. You won't be able to blame anybody else. Well, I would have done it, but he did. Well, I would have done it, but she made me did. No. Well, I would have done it, but they would have looked at me funny if I did. Yeah, well, you know what? It sucks because they're not graded on your paper. You are. Now you got to redo it. They got their own stuff there. Maybe their job is to come here and detract you so you wouldn't do yours. How about you worry about yours? That's what the scripture means when it says, let every man work out his own soul salvation. That's what it was talking about. Okay? You got to work out your own soul contract. I wish that were written properly. I really hate these English translations because they take you so far away from what the original intent was. That's what that means. Now, that whole with trembling fear, they threw that in there. Fear is a low vibration. Why should you work out your soul contract with fear? Fear will cause you to freeze and not move. That's the Bible got too many mixed up stuff in it. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. But anyway, y'all, that's all I got. So let me read these final comments. We're gonna get out of here. Let's see. Jojo, thank you for being here, brother. You know I appreciate you. Thank you. And for those of y'all that checked on me, shout out. I don't want to put nobody on Front Street, but you know who you are. For those of y'all that hit me up in DMs are like, yo, Matt, you good? Y'all got to know that just warms my heart. It lets me know that y'all really care. I know it's been about a week and some change, about a week and a half since I last went live. And y'all tapped in. Y'all like, Matt, what's up? What's good? I appreciate y'all so much. And thank y'all for checking in on brother. I'm good. I just been really busy, y'all. And again, the other part too is if it don't come into me, I ain't got nothing to pour out. I'm just a wine vessel. That's it. I'm a wine vessel. The owner of the vineyard pours the wine into me and I pour it out. That's it. If I don't get the wine filled into this vessel, I ain't got nothing to serve. That's how I move, y'all. So, yeah. So that's how that went. But for those of you who hit me up in the DMs when y'all don't see me go live or post no content, y'all got to know I love y'all to the moon and back, man. I do. Y'all are special. Y'all are special. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. You know who you are. I just don't want to single anybody out in front of everybody, but you know who you are. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, faithful and true. What's up? Thank you for being on the, thank you again for being here tonight. They said the Elohim are already among us. You know that. And I'm going to say this too, y'all. I really feel like I'll save it. But some of these patriarchs and matriarchs that we read about are walking amongst us. They just don't know that that's who they were in another lifetime. That's a story for another day. All right. Preparing the way. Yup. Aries, 6th house, non-negotiable. You got that right. I'm right there with you, Stellium. I'm right there with you. All right. Thanks for the memory. I just remembered something. My pleasure. I am his child. You are so right. You are correct. Love this, Matt. Libra in the 11th. Didn't know. Oh, well, I'm glad I could help. Y'all, because I'll be honest with you, y'all. I pour it out. It's buffet style, you know. Hopefully the food tastes good. Well, I'm a great cook, so if I ever cooked anything, you know. I ain't bragging, but when you're good, you're good. All right. So, anyway, y'all, that's all I got, man. So thank y'all for being here tonight. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You got to show it. Love is a verb. It's a noun as well. But when we focus on the verb, the noun always takes care of itself. And again, I'm going to say this one more time on the way out the door. You will never arrive at your destiny unless you are operating in the energy of authenticity. Be who you are, unapologetically and unafraid. All right? That's all I got, family. I love y'all. Peace.